Live from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, Fox Sports Houston brings you Houston Astros baseball. Today, the final Sunday game for the Astros in 2011. It's Game 4 of their series with the Colorado Rockies. Good afternoon, everybody. Bill Brown and Jim DeShays. The Astros won the first 2 games of this series. Then last night in 13, the Rockies notched a win, JD.
Yeah, kind of a schizophrenic offense for the Astros so far in this series with the Rockies. A lot of offense the first 2 games, and then last night just 2 runs. And held scoreless after the second inning, so 11 scoreless to finish the ball game last night. But the first 2, a lot of good things with the bats overall in 3 games. 22 runs, 30 hits, 11 for extra bases, totaling, I don't know, what, about 12 hours of baseball so far in the 3 games. And a big swing of the bat from Brett Wallace last night, one of the longest home runs here in the history of Minute Maid Park.
Coming up on this Sunday, it's Fan Appreciation Day, and Lucas Harrell will get the start for the Astros with the fans going on the field before the game. Take some photos with the players and some handshakes along the way. And for the Rockies, it's Kevin Millwood, a longtime foe, formerly with the Atlanta Braves. Final Sunday game in just a moment.
Maid Park. It's Fan Appreciation Day as the Colorado Rockies and the Astros wrap up a 4-game series. The Astros with a victory today can take the series 3 out of 4, and they'll have Lucas Harrell on the mound. It's Kids Day, of course. The kids got to go out with their players, star player favorites, and stand out there with the national anthem, get some autographs, and now they have left the field. The Astros are still on the field. The breakup of the meeting behind home plate, and we will have baseball before you know it. And to call all the action upstairs in the booth, let's send it to Bill Brown and Jim DeShays.
Thank you, Greg. And as the Rockies play their final game in Houston this year, they go with Eric Young in center field, Mark Ellis at second base, Seth Smith in right field, Kevin Kuzminoff at third base, Jordan Pacheco at first base, Ty Wigginton in left field, Chris Iannetta the catcher, Tommy Field at shortstop, Kevin Millwood the pitcher.
And for the Astros this afternoon, it's right-hander Lucas Harrell making the start in place of Bud Norris. And Lucas has pitched 4 times, made 1 start. That was 5 1/3 innings of scoreless baseball against the Brewers. So not a lot of work, but so far so good in an Astros uniform. Martinez Schaefer, Bogasevic, in left center and right. C.J. Barmas, third short. Big Little on the right side. J.R. Toll behind the plate. Weren't we just here?
We were just here. 13 innings last night. 4 hours, 9 minutes of baseball. The Rockies won that one 4-2. The Astros had done a lot of hitting in the first two games of this series. Eric Young, a .249 hitter with no homers, 10 runs batted in, comes to the plate. He was the leadoff man and left fielder in last night's game. Switch hitter takes, and there is ball one for Lucas Harrell. Harrell making his second start with the Astros. The first one went well. And that was against Milwaukee here. 5 1/3 innings of 3-hit shutout baseball. Asking Brad Mills about where Lucas Harrell might fit next year. He said he could be a starting pitcher. He could be a swingman. So we really like his sinker. 2 balls and a strike.
He's got good stuff. He sinks the fastball. He has a slider, a curveball, and a straight change. Doesn't use the curve very much, but generally keeps the ball down.
That works for out number 1.
Just don't know what the makeup of the rotation is going to be next year, or who all the candidates for those jobs will be, but certainly he'll be one of them. In his brief audition this year for the Astros, he's been good after doing some outstanding work down in AAA.
Drafted by the White Sox in 2004, a waiver claim by the Astros this July. Mark Ellis has had a good series. Ellis takes. There is strike one to him. Former Oakland A's second baseman at .265 with 6 homers, 23 runs batted in for Ellis. Fouls that one back, and it's 0-2. Harrell has a quick pace.
Thank goodness.
That could be very helpful today. Ground ball in the hole, backhanded. Barmas, tough throw from deep in the hole, gets it. Man, that's a nice play.
Yeah, he's been remarkably accurate on this play all year long, from deep in the hole, off balance, just kind of flips it across his body and almost always on the mark.
Just looking at that, you saw all the white showing from his glove there. Quickly got possession of that on the transfer to take care of out number 2. Slick.
And a lot of times those middle infielders, their hands are so quick, it's not so much that they're catching the ball as redirecting it from their glove to their throwing hand.
That's the way it looked. Ball one to Seth Smith, .279 for Smith. 15 homers. He's driven in 58 runs. Harrell comes right back, and we take a look.
It's Harrell. Standard, nothing really funky going on with his delivery. Keeps that front shoulder closed nicely. Takes his nose right at the target to his face. All the time, pitching coaches will tell guys sometimes, take your chin or your nose and let that lead the way. You know, wherever your head goes, the body's got to follow. Being the theory.
Let's hope it does anyway. 3 balls and a strike to Smith. Smith went 2 for 4 Thursday night with a double. Fouls that one back, and it's a 3-2 count. Once again today, no Todd Helton in the lineup for Colorado. No Carlos Gonzalez in the lineup. No Troy Tulowitzki in the lineup. 3 of the offensive mainstays on the bench.
Cargo just rejoined the team. He had a wisdom tooth extracted, but he's also got a wrist problem, so he's probably done. Well, they're probably all done. Maybe Tulowitzki will play again. There's no need for it, though.
Tulowitzki has become the second National League shortstop, the other being Ernie Banks, to have 30 homers and drive in 100 runs in a season. Smith is aboard. He has 10 steals in 12 tries. The cleanup man today, Kevin Kuzminoff, at .228, has 1 homer, 9 runs batted in. Ball one to Kuzminoff, the crushing Russian. Tied a season high with 3 hits in the opener of this series, including a homer and 2 runs batted in. It's a 2-ball, no strike count to Kuzminoff. His Rockies debut against the Astros in Colorado, August 24th. acquired from Oakland for a player to be named later. He's from Evergreen, Colorado.
Apparently the game plan is to pitch him in.
That's the way it looks.
So, you know, when you go in like that, you're hoping the guy offers because you're trying to jam him because you know you're not throwing strikes. If he doesn't swing, then you put yourself in a dangerous count.
There's
you have to throw one into the Whoopi Goldberg square there.
Oh boy, that's trouble. Runner going. Little tap. Harrell fields it. Takes care of the third out. No runs, no hits, and a man stranded. The first 0 goes up on the board quickly for Lucas Harrell. Out walking the top of the first. Now the Houston offense comes up against Kevin Millwood. The batting order is Jordan Schaefer, Jose Altuve, J.D. Martinez, Carlos Lee, Brian Bogasevic, Chris Johnson, Clint Barmas, J.R. Tolles, Lucas Harrell.
36-year-old Kevin Millwood today for the Colorado Rockies against the Astros in his career. He's made 12 starts. He's 7-4 with a 387. We last saw him in 09 when he was a member of the Texas Rangers. Of course, fans will remember him from his days with the Braves, including a one-hitter in the postseason against the Astros. And there's a look at the Rockies defensively. Ty Wigginton, he's just all over the place in this series. Third different start at the third different position. He's joined by Young and Smith in the outfield, the Russian field, Ellis Pacheco on the infield, Ionetta is the catcher.
Jordan Schaefer first man up. Millwood with 3 wins, 3 losses, and a 4.56 ERA. Starting for the 9th time in his career at Minute Maid Park. Schaefer shows bunt. That's up high. Ball 1 to Jordan.
Millwood has lost a couple miles an hour in velocity over the years. Good, solid career, though. 162 wins, 8th among active pitchers. Career ERA of 4.12. Those guys, just a good, durable guy over the years. Good in the room, as they say.
Art Howe had good things to say about him on Astros Live before the game. They were together with the Texas Rangers.
He was on his way home. He pitched in the minor leagues this year with the Yankees and the Red Sox. Asked for his release. Was heading home and got a call. Said, "Hey, what do you think about the Rockies?" So he diverted to LaGuardia, jumped on an airplane. And now he's had a nice run, and a guy who probably was contemplating retirement is probably now looking forward to working in somebody's rotation next year.
Well, that's what Art said. Art had talked to him, and Millwood indicated he would like to pitch again next year. Chopper goes to first. Pacheco takes it, 1 out. But sure, with all the experience that Millwood has, and he's been known for a good sinker down through the years, he could find a spot in the big league rotation next year.
And you can understand why he would contemplate shutting it down. He was 4-16 last year with the Orioles with an ERA of 5.10. And then having spent, pretty much all this year in the minor leagues, you get to a point where you think, all right, that's the end of the line for me, but now rejuvenated with this success with the Rockies.
Jose Altuve faces him next. Altuve is 3 for 10 in this series, hitting .164 in September, 9 hits and 55 at bats. Millwood delivers ball 1. Altuve with a .268 batting average, trying to get aboard for J.D. Martinez. Kevin Millwood is a native of Gastonia, North Carolina. Fastball foul back. That makes him 1-1. Atlanta drafted him in the 11th round of '93. He moved along to the Phillies after the '02 season. Signed a 5-year deal to join the Rangers in December of '05. Led the American League in ERA in '05 with Cleveland, 2.86 ERA before signing that deal with the Rangers. Strike and it's 1-2. Back in '99, that game you talked about, JD, in the playoffs against the Astros, that one hitter. During the regular season that year with the Braves, he was an all-star and finished second in ERA at 2.68, and followed that up with that spectacular work in postseason. Millwood 7-4 lifetime against Houston with a 3.87 ERA. Here at Minute Maid Park, Kevin is 5-2 with a 3.15. Really keeps his body under control, doesn't he?
Yeah, not a lot of wasted motion in his delivery. Stands tall on that back leg. He's out of the cutter like so many other pitchers, so he's not throwing his two-seam fastball as much, but adding a cutter to the repertoire along with the slider, which has always been a plus pitch for him. Curveball and a change.
Shortstop over to play it. Tommy Field. 2 outs.
And like Harrell, very balanced over the rubber, stays square to home plate, just lifts the leg, keeps that shoulder closed, eyes squarely on the target.
Well, you mentioned the Astros had not faced Millwood since '09. That was on a very warm night in Texas. He beat them 6-1, giving up 1 run in 7 innings. 114 pitches in that game. Got himself in very good condition to pitch for the Rangers. That was not necessarily the case when he began his stint with the Rangers, but then Nolan Ryan took over the club, had a chat with the starting pitchers, and they bought into the fact that they needed to really work on their conditioning to handle the heat. Out into right center field. Smith going for it, and Smith there for the running catch to make it a 1-2-3 first for Millwood, and no score.
cancer center, making cancer history. And, of course, he was in that glorious year, 1986. On this date, Mike Scott threw his no-hitter, striking out 13 and a 2-0 win to clinch the championship over the Giants. And he was dominant in the final inning and throughout the entire game. It was a great year for Scotty and for the Astros. This is the final out of the no-hitter. And Jim Deshaies and all Astro fans remember that.
Yeah. Something else, huh? No-hitter for a clincher. Never been done before.
Nope.
Hasn't been done since.
Jordan Pacheco took that pitch. It was ball one. 258 for Pacheco. 2 homers. He's driven in 11. Now it's 2-0 to him. Very special time.
Scotty punched out 300 plus that year. That has not happened very often in modern baseball.
No. 2 balls and a strike. Let's see. There's the cardigan worn by JD.
Yeah, we got a pretty good dog pile going on there. Big Charlie applying a little pressure from the backside.
Dr. Death.
Dr. Death was in there.
1986.
The best was Denny Wallen in that video. He just kind of goes hopping by the pile. You see him hop by, and then he hops back in the other direction.
Well, he was injured so much. He didn't want to get injured in a pile.
The Boogow.
See if we can find the hopper.
See if we can catch Denny. There's Billy Dorn. Larry Anderson. Come on, Denny.
Where's the hopper?
I know you're in here somewhere. Come on. Big Chaz. Ashby, Smitty, Panko. No Denny. They clipped him.
Not pictured, and he won't. Liner to center field. A hit for Pacheco.
Maybe we can bring him in next year and reenact it.
That's a good idea. He's been doing some work in the minor leagues as a hitting instructor. Be one of those guys you'd want to bring back for that 50th anniversary, probably. Ty Wigginton, 240, 15 homers, 46 runs batted in. As you mentioned, he's been the movable man in this series. And that's part of the value of Ty. Played right field last night. Played first base Friday night. Now he's in left field. Played first base Thursday night as well. Not too many guys will start at 3 different positions.
Yeah, he can play corner infield spots. He could play second base, left and right field, and really not hurt you. You wouldn't want him as short or in center.
That one goes to shallow center field. That loops in for a hit. And here's Pacheco, first to third. 2 men on with nobody out, and Chris Iannetta coming up. Well, Lucas Harrell has an immediate challenge here in the second inning.
And he likes to work inside with that fastball. We saw it in the at-bat with Kuzminoff, and he does the same thing here to Wigginton. Gets the swing on a fastball moving in on his knuckles. Gets the desired result in that it's soft contact. But a bad break for Harrell. The little flare finds a empty space out there in shallow center field. So now he's thinking double play ball. A little ground ball to short. I'll give up a run to get 2 outs here early in the game.
Iannetta with 13 homers has driven in 50 and a 236 batting average. Fouls that one away for strike one. Chris Johnson's even with the bag at third. You see the way the Astros infield is set up. Iannetta had a hit and 2 walks in last night's game. Rockies won with only 5 hits in the 13-inning game last night. That's a strike to make it 0-2. Well, Harrell could get a strikeout and a double play and get right out of this.
Yeah, I was thinking double play, but now you're 0-2. You think about taking a shot at a punch out here.
Lucas grew up in Springfield, Missouri. 4th round pick of the White Sox in 04. He'll come back. He will go to second. Low throw there, and a run scores. Everybody's safe. And Wigginton goes to third. Low throw. He was distracted a little bit. It looked like by the runner at third trying to decide what to do, and then as he turned to throw for the double play, it was a low throw.
Yeah, that's a difficult play. If the ball's hit sharply back to you, it's an easy double play. You go to second, no doubt about it. But little soft ground ball he has to leave the mound for, and he wants to hurry the throw to get the double play, but in so doing he makes an errant throw.
It's ruled a fielder's choice. Iannetta gets an RBI and an error on the pitcher, allowing Wigginton to reach third.
The baseball has not been particularly clean in this series for either team. Again, that's not an easy play there because of the nature of the play, having to come off the mound, and then you get a little greedy. You still want two. I mean, there's a pretty easy play to take your time, gather yourself, make that throw to second base to get it out there, or check the runner, make sure you get the runner at third going back, and then take the out at first. There's any number of ways to get one out and avoid giving up a run. But as a pitcher, you're thinking two. I'm going to give up that run. I'm going to get 2 outs. But he ends up with nothing.
There's a shot into left field. Tommy Field with an RBI single to make it 2-0 Rockies, and the Austin, Texas native who went to Texas State gets his first major league RBI. Nothing Rockies, and it's Millwood while they meet at the mound.
Well, we got Iannetta over there at second base, who's not particularly fleet of foot. Situation clearly a bunt situation here. Brad Mills wants to make sure everybody's aware of what he wants to see happen here, whether it's he wants them to be very aggressive trying to get Iannetta at third, or the message may have been, hey, let's make sure we get an out before this thing completely unravels on us. That may also have been the message.
Millwood, a 121 career hitter, has gone deep 3 times. He's driven in 25. He has 2 sacrifice bunts this year. Lee is in tight, and Johnson also in close. Millwood missed it.
The bunting in this series has been horrific.
Sure has. Seen a lot of bunts missed, fouled off, bunted badly, popped up. Time called by J.R.
I'm ready to give up on it altogether. I'm ready to go straight Moneyball on this bunting thing. Just
right.
Don't ever bunt. Having said that, clearly this is a bunting situation. But again, like, it's hard when your manager, you're envisioning a play. I got my pitcher up there. I got 2 guys on. I put a bunt on, get him over, and not showing a whole lot so far in his 2 efforts.
No.
And now you might be tempted to take it off, and then he'd whack a one-hopper at the shortstop, and it turned into a double play.
Sure. Jim Tracy, you're already up 2-0. Nobody out. 2 men on. And the bunt to Harrell will be thrown to third for a force there. And then Chris Johnson to first. Safe. And the relay to Altuve. Out number 1. Going from 1 to 5.
Well, Millwood at least got it down, but hard and right back to the pitcher, and a pretty easy force play at third base.
Not desirable at all.
After ball out of the strike zone, but again, he got it down, but not a successful sacrifice.
Now it's Young. Young grounded out in the first inning. He apparently had some objections to the way he was tagged at home plate last night by Quintero, according to the post-game stories.
Well, yeah, he was saying he was, Q gave him a little push, but if you're a catcher and you're bracing for contact and you're reaching for a base runner, you're not sure, so you're going to kind of go at him a little bit aggressively. And Young saying, well, I was giving myself, well, you don't know that if you're the catcher. You don't know what a guy's thinking.
No.
And it wasn't like he hammered him.
No. Push him down or anything like that. He forcefully tagged him, which is the way you're taught to do it. Make sure you tag him hard enough so the umpire sees it and everybody knows it was a tag. 1-1. And Quintero did that. Veteran Tracy Ringlesby broadcasting next door to us.
Here's the play at the plate we were talking about. Little comebacker to the mound. Fernando Rodriguez throws the ball home. It's Young initially was showing signs of wanting to take evasive action there, try to beat the tag, and there was nothing overtly aggressive about Q's tag.
No.
But Young said something to Q, and they had some words, and the umpire got in between them. That was that.
Good point you're making, though. The catcher does not know whether that guy's going to try to knock him into the third row or not. He has to be prepared for that.
It all happens in a very short period of time. If the guy stops dead in his tracks, fine.
Hit by the pitch. Base is loaded now. And it is Mark Ellis coming up with 3 men on. Well, Harrell will be in the mix for that starting rotation for the Astros in 2012. Brad Mills talked about that, and Jordan Lyles, of course, will be contending for a spot also. Ellis with 3 grand slams is 2 for 14 this year with the bases loaded. Clint Barma's made an excellent play to get him in the first inning.
You know those movies about Broadway shows? And they bring all the dancers up in the stages, like hundreds of them, and then they watch them dance for a while. You out of here. That's kind of going to be what spring training is going to be like for the Astros next year. A cast of thousands all vying for jobs.
Well, I was asking Brad Mills the other day, do you want to have a lot of split squad games next year so you can look at more guys? He said no. He said we had too many this year, and we could not keep tabs on all of them. Didn't see all.
So you got guys working, but you can't really evaluate. I think what may happen, at least with the pitchers, is the guys that you know are going to be in your rotation, or even in your bullpen, give them some B games, some minor league games, and take a good long look at all the borderline guys in those front line spring training games.
Fly ball left center. There's a tag with Field at third, and the catch, and Field is coming to the plate, and he scores. 3-0 on the sac fly by Ellis, giving him his 24th run batted in.
Wait, Gator, wait, do something good. Attaboy. Wait, put that ball in play.
This is an inning that Lucas Harrell would love to start all over again. It's not like he's made a lot of bad pitches in this inning. Checo hit the ball hard, but Wigginton hit a little blooper for a single. Then the errant throw, really the key in the inning on that comebacker when they got no outs.
Seth Smith takes a look at strike one. He drew a first inning walk. Now, you know, the Astros have allowed 74 unearned runs this season coming into this game. That's a really high number. There are a lot of plays not made this year.
And that number also reflects the pitching, too, because frontline pitching pitches around errors a lot more than the Astros have this year.
True. You know, that's a high number, but it doesn't necessarily entail all the mistakes they've made. Sometimes they allow runs that were earned, but there wasn't an error, but there was a double play that should have been made, and they only got one out. Things of that nature. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Not a lot of firepower in this Rocky lineup with all those front liners out of action, but this guy can hurt you.
He has 15 bombs. Wigginton has 15. They are the two with the highest totals in this lineup today. Iannetta has 13. Bouncer and on through into right field. Millwood stopping, and the throw comes into the plate. It's a good one from Bogusevic. Bases loaded on the single by Smith. That's a fine throw.
And with Millwood running, no way they were going to send him. Lucas Harrell's got to back up home there. He got lucky. That ball kicks away from Tolles, and he's not there to back it up, and that run scores. That is very embarrassing.
Yeah, he broke first.
He broke. You do. You have to break, but then you have to turn around and hustle back and get into position to back up the catcher. You can't quit on the play. He made an assumption there because Millwood was running that Bogey would just kind of make a nice easy throw back in.
Kuzminoff fouls it. There's strike one. The Rockies batting around here in the second inning. 3 grand slams for Kuzminoff in his career. Yankees 4, Red Sox 1. They're in the top of the 5th at Yankee Stadium.
Game 1 of a twin bill. Red Sox hanging on against the Rays, but that could flip big time today.
Carlos Lee comes over for the foul pop. And the Rockies send 9 to the plate in the second inning. They score 3 runs on 4 hits with an error, and they leave 3. And our leaders of the game is brought to you by United. Proud to fly the Houston Astros, showing you something on Carlos Lee. He has 24 runs batted in since August 26th, tied for second in Major League Baseball behind Victor Martinez of Detroit, who has 28. At back-to-back 4 RBI games Thursday and Friday, becoming the 9th player in Astros history to do that. Last one, Lance Berkman in May of 2000 at Colorado. Carlos, a .333 hitter against the Rockies, has climbed to .277 for the season with 18 homers. He's driven in 94 runs. He drove in 552 with the White Sox. And 504 now with the Astros. 6th active player to have at least 500 for 2 different teams. And one of them is in this ballpark. Jason Giambi did it for the A's and the Yankees. Carlos with 38 doubles is tied for 4th in the National League. Millwood throws a strike to him. It's 1-1 for Kevin Millwood. Carlos needs 2 more homers to reach 20 again. 12 straight years. 1-2. He has come a long way since the All-Star break. Driving in 46 runs in 63 games. Strike 3 call. Strikeout number 1 for Millwood.
Carlos pitches .246 last year with a .291 on base percentage, and he was trending that way again this year, but that the reversal Brownie talked about has really turned things around. .277 coming into this one. On base percentage of .341, right around his career norm. The power numbers down, of course, just 18 home runs, but still nice to see him have a nice comeback in the second half.
Ball 1 to Bogusevic, .281 for Bryan. 4 homers, 15 driven in. He's 1 for 4 in this series. 2 balls, no strikes. Chris Johnson on deck. Bogusevic's hit .311 in his last 38 games. 4 homers, 14 runs batted in. This is his 3rd stint with the Astros this year. Nice. Sharply hit, and there's the play by Pacheco. Staggered back toward the outfield on a hard hit screamer by Bogusevic. 2 outs.
Pacheco looked a little uncomfortable out there at first base last night on a couple of plays. Of course, no time to get comfortable on this one. This is just a reaction. Hold your ground, defend yourself, and make a play.
He almost needed Ferdy Pacheco on that. Like he was knocked back against the ropes. Chris Johnson with 7 homers, 41 runs batted in, has a .253 batting average. CJ 2 for 5 with an RBI in this series. He's on a 5-game hitting streak, 6 for 10. And he was saying on Astros Live that he is looking for a job in winter ball. He's going to stay here in Houston and work out, but then hopes to play in either Venezuela or the Dominican Republic as well. And he said he had not been demoted before, so that was a blow to him when he went to Oklahoma City for about the first week, and then he started working hard, and it was his big objective to get back, which he's done, and he's been successful here in September. 2 balls and a strike. He's hit .360 in 25 at bats in September. 1 homer, 5 runs batted in. Made a really good play a couple nights ago at third, diving to his right. He smacks this one over shortstop. A looping line drive hit into left center field. Young comes up with it. Big turn by CJ, and almost lost his footing there. That's the first base runner for Houston.
Well, we talked about it last night with Jay Happ after his demotion, coming back and really pitching well, so he'll head into the offseason with a certain level of confidence and feeling at least better about 2012 than he would have a month or so ago. And I think the same thing applies to Chris Johnson with the work he's done since coming back up. Initially wasn't getting much of a chance to play, but lately Brad Mills has called his number and he's responded.
Now there's a meeting between Iannetta and Millwood. Barnes the batter. Clint, the former Rocky, has a homer in this series, 2 runs batted in. He's gone 3 for 13 in this series. J.R. Tolles is on deck. Popped up, and this will be out of play for Iannetta. There's strike 1. There's an interesting article written by Joel Sherman in the New York Post today on the pending labor agreement between Major League Baseball owners and players. 12 homers for Barmes, 39 runs batted in, and tied in with that the proposed realignment into 2 15-team leagues. No balls, 2 strikes to Barmes. According to Sherman's article, it's a strong consideration to expand the playoffs as early as next year, adding an additional wild card team in each league, and play a 1-game series between the 2 wild card teams to decide who goes on. Bounce to shortstop, a 2-hopper. There's the toss from Field to Ellis. No runs, a hit, and a man stranded. The Rockies lead 3-0 after 2.
the fans are being appreciated all week with some great ticket deals. For any Astros game through Wednesday, you can score a $1 ticket for every full-price ticket purchased in select sections, including the field boxes. You can also buy vouchers for dollar hot dogs and small sodas for each ticket purchased. Visit Astros.com/fan for dollar day tickets. Great deals for the fans over these last 4 games of the year.
You bet. And the Cardinals are coming in with a lot on the line starting tomorrow night. Third inning gets underway. The Rockies batted around in the second, so it's Jordan Pacheco batting again here leading off the third. He started that 3-run rally with a single in the second inning.
Cardinals currently trail the Atlanta Braves by 2 games in the wild card race. And so far this afternoon, Cardinals Cubs are scoreless, middle of the second in St. Louis. Braves and Nationals are scoreless through 3 in D.C.
Braves leading by 2 in the wild card with 4 to go. Grounder goes foul, 1-1. Just thinking about that Joel Sherman story and the possibility there could be an additional wild card team added in each league as early as next year for a 1-game playoff. Just looking at the way it's playing out this year, Atlanta 2 ahead of St. Louis. Then the next team is San Francisco 5 games back. So if we had that situation this year, both Atlanta and St. Louis will be looking very good for those 2 wild card spots in the National League.
And then they would play a 1-game plan essentially, which the TV loves because of the potential for the drama of a 1-game winner go home scenario.
True. And apparently that was a part of Joel Sherman's story. It's television that doesn't want a best of 3 initial wild card playoff round, just 1 game.
I don't think the players want it either, because I think that they're fearful of the division winners having to sit around and wait for a 5-game playoff. I guess you could play 2 out of 3.
Good point. Backhanded by J.D. Martinez. It's a single by Pacheco. Pacheco with 2 hits in 2 innings here.
See, actually, I kind of like it because I think it would return a little more purity, whereas you really reward the division winners. Of course, the flip side of the argument is there's a chance that a wild card club could have a heck of a lot better record than a division winner in one of the other divisions. So for me, you'd have to create more of a balanced schedule where everybody played each other the same amount of time, or reseed the playoff teams instead of calling them wild cards. Just, if you want 5 teams, here are the 5 teams that have the best records, and 4 and 5 play each other regardless of whether they were a wild card or a division winner.
Makes some sense.
Nobody's going to listen to me, but that's just.
Well, some people are listening to you. They may not have decision-making power, but they're listening.
Dear Bud, here's what I would do.
Ty Wigginton looks at ball 2.
A weekly letter to Bud. That's going to be a segment on next year's show.
Yeah.
We'll get some music behind it and hold on. Dear Bud.
Every Wednesday night on Astros Live.
Letters to the commissioner.
Letters to Bud. That's a great idea.
Dear Bud, how are you? I am fine. Weather here in Houston is smoking hot. I know you can't do anything about that. But let's talk about this wild card thing.
Oh, that opens up a whole Pandora's box of possibilities for us for next year.
And whoever buys the Dodgers, could you get them to go back to grilling Dodger dogs instead of steaming them? Can you put that in the contract? These are the things that really matter most.
Fly ball center field. Schaefer waiting.
Too much barrel, Wiggy.
1 down. And it's Iannetta coming up next. Iannetta reached on the fielder's choice play. That was the bouncer back to the pitcher and got thrown away. Then he was later forced out on the bunt. 5 hits for the Rockies, 1 for the Astros. Of the Colorado 3 runs in the second, only 1 was earned. And there's a toss over to first. Dear Bud, when we have 12-inning games in late September, Could there be a method of deciding the game after the 12th?
Especially if the teams have combined for 190 losses.
Here's ball one. Dear Bud, what does the winner of the 200,000th game in Major League history get?
Yeah, when do we get our plaque? When are we going to raise the banner? Stadium that hosted Major League Baseball's 200,000th game.
By the way, we were chatting with Jeff Bagwell, our regular Saturday night friend, during the season here at home games, and talking about the Hall of Fame. And somebody did, Wave Robinson, I think, sent me some photos of some Astros exhibits at Cooperstown, and his uniform is there.
Yeah, I would imagine there's a fair amount of baggy memorabilia there.
Mm-hmm.
Rookie of the Year, MVP. Checo's not going anywhere, is he?
No, he's not going anywhere.
He couldn't steal a base if he had a key to the equipment room. Maybe he can. I have no idea. He hasn't tried one at the big league level this year.
The one I like was when Lloyd McClendon and Lou Piniella stole bases as managers. They just went out during arguments with the umpires, uprooted the base, and walked off with it. Wouldn't give them back either. Maybe one of them did. The other one just walked right out of the ballpark with it.
Phil Niekro stole second base at the end of his career.
Didn't know that.
From the dugout.
Oh?
Yeah, he just bolted out of the dugout and ran out and slid into second base.
Was it the last game of the year?
Yeah, I think so.
I like that.
Yeah. He also pitched a shutout at the end of his career without throwing a single knuckleball. I think it was a shutout.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Speaking of knuckleballs, isn't Tim Wakefield pitching one of those games today?
He's pitching this one, game one.
Well, you talk about pressure.
He's losing 4-1.
And the Red Sox team. Speaking of the Red Sox, guess who's in town? Former Astro Craig Shipley. He works for the Red Sox. He's been working in international scouting for them. Good to see him again.
Probably trying to swing a deal for a pitcher for their final 3 games.
Well, there was some talk about that. A few days ago it was rumored they were trying to deal for Chris Capuano. Runner going, and it's a foul ball. And that's the kind of condition their pitching staff is in right now. Yankees lead it 5-1, bottom of the 5th inning. Jacoby Ellsbury hit his 29th homer for the Red Sox, and Jorge Posada has hit number 14 for the Yankees. A.J. Burnett starting for the Yankees today. He would not seem to be in line for postseason starts. Maybe he will. Runner goes. Flipped out to right field. A little dunker in front of Bogasevic for a pop fly hit. And it's 1st and 3rd on the single by Iannetta.
Starting to shape up as just a bad karma day for Lucas Harrell here.
Yes.
Again, not a bad pitch at all. He jammed the daylights out of Iannetta.
Yeah, there it is.
3-2-1 out, moving with the pitch, counting on ball 4 contact. He's hung out to dry. If that ball hangs up just a little bit longer, it's an easy inning-ending double play, but instead it's 1st and 3rd, 1 out.
Now Field would be the batter. Broke Hale out at the mound. Harrell's thrown 60 pitches, 37 for strikes. He's given up 6 hits, and they've all been singles. A.J. Burnett is pitching well today for the Yankees. He's given up 2 hits and 1 run in 5 innings. Meanwhile, Tim Wakefield out of the game after 4 innings, allowing 5 hits, 5 runs, 4 of them earned. Field with the RBI single to left, then came around to score later in that 3-run second. Double play set up as he takes ball 1. It's quite a drop off from Tulowitzki to anybody else at shortstop. Field lives in Hewitt, Texas. That's up in the Waco area. "24 years old. Right through the legs of Harrell and on into center field to make it 4-0 Rockies. And Field is 2 for 2 with 2 runs batted in.
So it's a couple of flares in the outfield. He's gotten some ground balls when he's needed them to, but just beyond the reach of infielders, whether it's through the hole between third and short, second and first. This time right up the middle, literally, as he goes through the 5-hole, splitting the wickets on Harrell, and then beyond the diving reach of Clint Barmas. Wood up there will probably be asked to bunt again. Iannetta will, in all likelihood, be forced at third again.
Well,
no, we got a good one down. My bad.
Yeah. Got it where he wanted to.
My apologies, Kevin.
Good gets a sack. From 5 to 4, that's out number 2. Moving Iannetta to third and Field to second. And bringing up Young. Young grounded out and he was hit by a pitch. Detroit leads Baltimore 6-3. They've played 5 in the Motor City.
A lot of baseball yet to be played here this afternoon. 4-0, not an unsurmountable deficit, but 6-0 would be awfully tough to come back from. That doesn't happen very often. Yeah.
Key hitter right here.
So we're putting our game on the line here, Brownie, because if he delivers, people are going to change the channel.
That's true. We're going to put it all out there right now.
Don't leave us, folks. Greg's probably got some good trivia coming later.
Greg's going to be giving away ice cream later in the day. No balls, 2 strikes.
Seriously?
Yeah, he is. We've worked that out.
Yeah, right.
Nice.
And you'll have to drive to the ballpark to get it, and it will melt pretty quickly, but we're going to work that out.
I'm going to put on my coat, walk through the stands, and give Milo Hamilton autographs.
Be a good humor, man. Uh-oh. We got a balk call.
Yep. That makes it 5-0. That's tough for Harrell because he has an 0-2 count on Young with 2 outs in the inning.
I have no idea what he did. Frankly, I wasn't paying attention.
He doesn't have any idea from his gesture.
There he goes. Feel for the seams on the ball. Bent at the waist, appearing for the sign, and stopped. If he called that a balk, I would be very upset. Oh, come on, Larry.
You see it?
Come on. Have a freaking clue, man.
Larry Vanover, the home plate umpire.
Read the rule book.
Young strikes out.
That's a joke.
Costly
what did I
ball.
do? He's asking, what did I do?
Yeah, he'd like to know it's 5-0 Colorado.
Well, you took a deep breath.
Uncensored. See what they're saying at Hyundai. COL@hou.com. Well, you asked for it, so we're going to give it to you. This will be bonus trivia today, and it's a little bit weird. Question is, when umpire Frank Dascoli cleared the Dodger dugout on the 27th of September 1951, what future Hall of Famer who would never play a game for the Dodgers was among those ejected?
In 51.
I got a guess.
Okay, who is it?
I'm going to go with Roberto Clemente.
That's a nice guess, but it's wrong.
It is a good guess.
Yeah, because he never played a game for the Dodgers.
He was a Rule 5 pick from the Dodgers by the Pirates. Let's see, future Hall of Famer in 51. Never played for the Dodgers.
How about this one? This clue. He never played for any Major League Baseball team.
Oh, he was a Hall of Famer somewhere else. It was Chuck Connors, the rifleman. He went into the TV Hall of Fame.
Well, that's a good. Well, he was actually a basketball player, but no, he's not in the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and he did play baseball. So.
Bill Sharman.
Really?
You got it. Bill Sharman. He never played a game for the Dodgers. Of course, he went on to be a great player for the Boston Celtics and is in the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Who knew? Well, apparently Greg did.
By the way, keep that thought in mind, because I've got one later.
Okay.
That we may get on this week before the season's over. That sort of along the same line.
Very good. Bill Sharman. There's a strikeout. That's number 2 for Millwood.
Got called up in September. Was sitting there waiting to get into a game and never did.
So. So he got called up. Was he playing basketball in the off seasons then? I mean, what?
Yeah, he was already.
He was doing both.
Yeah, there were a number of guys that did both.
Gene Conley, Dave DeBuscher.
Yeah. Ron Reed.
Ron Reed is another one. Now Brett Wallace is the pinch hitter for Lucas Harrell. Harrell leaving after 3 innings of work, allowing 7 hits, 5 runs. 3 of them earned. He walked 1 and struck out 1.
So Millwood will try to pound Wally inside. Throw that cutter. Brett hit a monstrous home run here last night. Out in the patio there next to the Astros bullpen on a sinking fastball middle away. And after that, it was in. Whoop, that one didn't get in.
He whipped that bat through the zone, put it in the air to right field. Smith backing up. 2 outs.
Good swing, though.
It was.
He's got great bat speed.
Jordan Schaefer comes up. He grounded out in the first inning. Washington 1, Atlanta nothing. They've played 4 in our nation's capital. Mike Minor on the losing end of that one so far. Ross Detweiler has the shutout ball. Wilson Ramos hit his 15th homer off Minor in the 4th inning. Schaefer looks at ball 1.
The Fighting Phils have basically shut it down since clinching the East, having dropped 8 in a row. But they're winning today 5-0 over the Mets in the 4th. Hunter Pence hit his 21st home run.
Somebody asked Brad Mills about that before the game. Hey, if you were manager of that Phillies team, how would you feel? He said, I wouldn't be concerned until about Tuesday. You know, if they kept losing and then lost on out, then it would be a concern. So they've been resting people. High chopper to the left side in the hole. No throw from Field. Infield hit, and the big thing was getting it over Kuzminoff at third. Schaefer's aboard with a single.
Well, normally when you're down 5 runs, you don't think about taking chances on the bases and trying to steal a base, but When you got a lineup that doesn't hit a lot of home runs, there's 2 outs in the inning. Would not be stunned to see Jordan Schaefer try to steal second base here, get into scoring position for Altuve.
Altuve, the minor league player of the year this year for the Astros. With 194 hits in professional ball. Throw goes over to first on Schaefer, who's 22 of 26. Stole 2 bases last night. 85% of the time he's been successful. Cincinnati and Pittsburgh tied 3-3 after 4.
Ooh, talk about a quick pitch. I want to call a balk. You can call one there.
Sure could.
And that's the irony, right? It's all the balk rule is in place to prevent pitchers from deceiving base runners. Lucas Harrell cost him a run because he took a deep breath. And now Millwood here with a little crafty quick pitch and no call. But he's going to be tough to run on with that quick slide step he's using.
2-0.
He probably shouldn't. He's got a 5-0 lead. He shouldn't be sacrificing his delivery, worrying about Jordan Schaefer. And that may be a thought that's crossing his mind right now. I mean, he's been around a long time, a very successful big league pitcher. He might be thinking, wait a minute, I got a 5-0 lead here. Why am I misfiring at home because I'm overly concerned about a guy stealing a bag on him?
Millwood did not have a good outing his last trip to the mound. Gave up 6 earned runs in 3 1/3 innings and a loss against San Diego. 3 balls, no strikes.
Probably should take 2 here. What you need is traffic, and you got a guy on deck who's capable of hitting the ball out of the ballpark. It would be hard to take that one again, though. Get over BP fastball.
Those are extra base hit pitches.
And you know, and this is where it comes down to trust. And because Altuve does go out of the strike zone a lot, you may have given him a take here.
They're going.
Swing, it's going to pay off.
Out into right center field. Young comes up. No, Young does not come up with it. It's back behind him, and a run scores to make it 5-1. And here's Altuve going to third. Young failed to play it. Let the ball get by him. Schaefer scoring, Altuve to third base.
Single and a 2-base error on Eric Young, allowing that run to score. Otherwise, it would have been first and third. There's been some bad baseball played in this series. Altuve does get the green light on 3-1 and goes after probably ball 4, but it ends well for him. And then it gets even better. After the misplay by Young, Schaefer flying around the bases. Altuve comes to third base.
J.D. Martinez is next in this 5-1 ball game. 2-base error by Young was his 4th error of the year. Martinez hit a fly ball to right earlier. J.D. fouls it. There's strike 1.
Rays 4, Jays 2, bottom of the 5th in Tampa. A Yankee sweep of the Red Sox and a Tampa win, and that is all knotted up between the Sox and the Rays.
Zobrist hit his 19th. Up to number 23. Longoria 29. 1 ball, 1 strike. Yankees have clinched home field advantage throughout the American League playoffs. Milwaukee has 1 win more than Arizona, 1 game better in the standings, so they still have a battle going to see who has the 2nd best winning percentage in the National League.
And the way Milwaukee plays at home, that could really be significant.
Good. And Detroit and Texas 1 game apart for the 2nd best in the American League. Martinez swings and misses. And on the strikeout, that ends it in the 3rd with 1 run scoring on 2 hits, 1 error, and 1 man left. It's 5-1 Rockies.
5-1 as we go to the top of the fourth. Tomorrow is Star Wars night at Minute Maid Park. Purchase the ticket package at Astros.com/Star Wars, and a portion of each ticket will benefit Stand Up to Cancer. Tonight will also feature some of your favorite Star Wars costume characters. Visit Astros.com/Star Wars for tickets and details.
Are we taking part in that, Greg?
I don't know. You got any Star Wars stuff in your closet?
No.
No, I don't either.
Is that tomorrow night?
Yeah, it's tomorrow night. Too late to scare some up.
Might have to rig something.
Carlos Corcoran had his Princess Leia costume from the rookie dress-up day. I don't know whether he still got that or not.
Well, maybe we could borrow from Carlos. Patty Smith usually is the costume provider, but she's not working tomorrow night.
You could just talk like Darth Vader all night, Brownie.
Okay. Not a bad plan. Anewi Rodriguez with 1 win, 6 losses, a 5.03 ERA, takes over for Lucas Harrell. And the fourth inning begins with Mark Ellis batting. He's 0 for 1 with a sac fly, taking strike 1. Rodriguez worked last night. It's more a case of who didn't work last night. Ground ball past a diving CJ. Looks like a double for Ellis. Nope, it's a single for Ellis on a good play by J.D. Martinez.
JD hustling over there to cut this ball off, keeping the double play in order. That's a heck of a play.
Sure is. Nice throw. CJ was in close. Very well done by JD. So now Rodriguez can get a double play ball facing Smith. Smith has a walk and a single. Tolles going out to the mound. Gavin Floyd of the White Sox has 4 no-hit innings under his belt at home against Kansas City.
Just thinking that earlier about due for a no-hitter. It's been a while.
True. April and September still the biggest no-hitter months?
I believe so. The cold favors pitchers in April, and disinterested hitters really help pitchers in September. Minor league guys up.
Ball 1 to Smith.
Guys thinking about the hunting lease, the golf game.
Yeah. Lining up winter ball jobs.
Tired. Gonna get out of the pennant race, and the adrenaline starts to go away a little bit.
Runner going. Pitch out. Tolles with the throw. Armas the tag. Got him. Caught stealing. 2-6.
Astros don't pitch out a lot, but Brad Mills right on the money here. Good call and well executed by Tolles. Perfect throw.
Now it's 2-0 to Smith. 2-1 for Rodriguez. Milwaukee has had its second straight 3-run inning, still batting in the third inning, leading Florida 6-1. Emilio Bonifacio hit his 5th for the Florida run. Brewers shooting for win number 94. Who's going to be National League MVP? We were talking about that again before the game today. Jeff Hewson of the Rockies television network was raving about the work of Matt Kemp this year. Of course, the Rockies see a lot more of the Dodgers than we do.
And that's what tends to happen. The voting tends to break down regionally. So the guys out west are going to be a lot of votes for Kemp. Justin Upton's going to get a fair amount of votes, I would think.
Yeah.
For the Diamondbacks. The Phillies were in town. We heard a lot of talk about Ryan Howard, but I don't hear a lot about Howard as an MVP candidate in the national writers.
No.
I think it's Braun or Kemp. If I had a vote, I'd give it to Kemp. And my guess is Braun will win it.
Kuzminoff has grounded back to the pitcher, and he's fouled out. The pitch out to first. See, Braun has a 1-point lead in the batting race over Jose Reyes. Kemp 325. Braun 331. 6-point differentials can be tough for Kemp to make up. But you look at Kemp and what he's done with homers. He's tied for the lead with Pujols. With runs batted in, he is the leader by 5 over Fielder and Howard. And Fielder, another strong candidate, and Braun.
Kemp plays a more demanding position. He plays in more of a pitcher's ballpark. So his numbers more impressive. But what may swing it the other way is that the fact that Braun and Fielder are on a winning team.
True. Kemp leads the league in runs and total bases. Braun leads in slugging percentage. Kemp is second. 2 balls and a strike. Albert Pujols is tied for the home run lead with Kemp, 37. Pujols has 98 runs batted in and a .302 average. So when he and the Cardinals come in tomorrow night, you're going to be looking at another triple milestone season for Pujols. He's had nothing but those as a major leaguer.
Yeah, you got to believe he's going to find a way to drive in a couple more runs before the end of the year. Berkman would have to go nuts to do that. Lance is 91 driven in. He's hit 31 home runs. Well, those guys. Well, that's Pearland. We're down on the field before the game.
The whole team came out. Down the Cy-Fair High School choir sang the anthem. Line drive hit into right center field. That loops in for a single. Bogusevic will not have a shot at third. He gets it back into second on the single by Kuzminov. Kuzminov's 1 for 3, and it's first and third, one out with Smith at third base.
Might be time to move the outfielders in.
The way it's looking.
Man.
Been a lot of hits like that. Jordan Pacheco has 2 singles. He led off the second with a hit, came around to score. Led off the third with a hit, came around to score. Ricky Nolasco took a shelling today for the Marlins at the hand of Milwaukee. He gave up 6 earned runs in 2 innings. Narvison's pitched well for 3 for the Brewers. There's a shot into left field. That'll make it 6-1. Third straight single in the game for Pacheco. He gets his 12th run batted in.
That time a hanging breaking ball from Rodriguez. A good solid swing by the fight doctor.
It's 10 hits for the Rockies. They've all been singles. Ty Wigginton got one of those singles in the second. He's 1 for 2. Strike one.
It's kind of like a Coors Field game because the dimensions are so big there because of the altitude. You see a lot of hits like the ones we've seen here today out in Denver. Not to mention the fact that the ball travels 18% faster through the infield at altitude.
Not that you're keeping tabs on that at all. Line left field corner. J.D. Martinez backhands on the warning track as a run scores on an RBI double by Wigginton. 7-1 now, as Wiggy has picked up his 21st double and he now has 47 runs batted in. That's Chris Iannetta next.
Mark Ellis is probably in the dugout shaking his head. Why was I trying to steal? I didn't need to steal. No. Just let these guys drive me in. Everybody's getting hits. That's the only out in the inning that caught stealing on the pitch out.
Well, this game is reversing a recent trend. The Astros pitchers had been doing well with a 3.07 staff ERA since August 25th in the last 28 games. But ERA is taking a hit here, even though some of these runs have been unearned, a couple of them. 7 runs on 11 hits. Iannetta drove in 1. in the second inning, and he scored one after his single in the third. Infield comes in halfway for the middle infielders. Little roller play at the plate. Tolles with a rundown on Pacheco, and he tags him out, and that is out number 2. Wigginton had already arrived at third base, so it was a given somebody was out.
Pacheco's going on contact, and I love the fact that he's streaking back to third base, hoping that he can get out of this. And then JR said, well, I don't even have to try to make a play on him. And he tags Pacheco before he gets to the base. If they're both on the base, then you just tag them both. And Wigginton's out because Pacheco's the guy who initially occupied the base.
But then Pacheco came off the base.
Yeah, and I'm not so sure because it looked like when the tag was made, Pacheco was on the base. So really,
right.
Wigginton probably should be on Pacheco at third. It really doesn't matter a whole lot.
It's kind of the way it looked.
Umpire just made an out sign, and whoever wanted to go to the dugout was free to go.
Now Field fouls it back. Okay, let's see if he tagged him when he was on the base.
Foot's on the bag, tags applied. See, he should have been safe, and Wigginton should have been out.
Yeah. Bolino.
Yeah, and then he could have tagged Pacheco again for coming off the base and gotten them both.
True.
That would have been fun to watch that argument.
Oh, yeah. We need one like that today. 1 ball, 1 strike. Phillies 9, Mets nothing after 4.
That's Halladay today.
Oh, yeah. With Roy in the Cy Young conversation, you know the Phillies wanted to get a win from him. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Halladay has allowed 2 hits through 4 innings. Mike Pelfrey took a beating, 5 earned runs in 3 innings. Pelfrey's ERA 4.74. The Mets had hoped for better from him this year. In the air and foul.
See? Tags applied there while Pacheco's on the base. So theoretically he's safe. Wigginton's out. Pacheco came off the base, and if he'd gone back and tagged him, he's already signaling Wigginton safe there. So he had to call something. So you wouldn't have gotten the other call.
I wonder if there have ever been 3 guys standing on the same base. I can't remember that happening. That's highly improbable. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Field.
Thinking if it ever would have happened, it would be today. It would be in this series.
It could be. Stay tuned. We might see that. Baseball can be very confusing. Cubs 1, Cardinals nothing. Bottom of the 5th inning in St. Louis. You know, Randy Wells would love to win that game for many reasons. Edwin Jackson's pitching well for St. Louis. Check the rotation for this series. Wandy Rodriguez and Jaime Garcia tomorrow night at 7:05. Foul back. Tuesday at 7:05, Henry Sosa and Jake Westbrook. Wednesday at 7:05, Brad Myers, Chris Carpenter. It could come down to that final game with the Cardinals still being in contention. And let's go to Greg Lucas right now.
Well, they'll do it right now. Okay, remind people that Chevy's proud to support the Youth Baseball Leagues, your local community. If you'd like to learn more about Chevy Youth Baseball programs, go to youthsportswired.com. Sorry, late on that. I had a cutout in my audio from the truck.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
But there you have it.
We got it on. Tommy Field with a 2-2 count. Just outside, ball 3. Tim Lincecum goes for the Giants this afternoon at Arizona against Josh Colmenter.
Lincecum right now at 13-13 to finish above 500, a 2.59 ERA. So he's had another very good year. Just wins have been tough to come by. That Giant club Went about 6 weeks without scoring a run.
Runner goes and it's fouled. Clayton Kershaw, who's 20-5, pitches this afternoon for the Dodgers in San Diego against Corey Lupke. Kershaw with a 2.27 ERA. Is he your guy for the Cy Young?
To me, it's he, Halladay, and Cliff Lee. Those would be the three guys that I would put at the top of the podium. And I'm not sure who's going to get gold, silver, and bronze. They're all deserving. There's different arguments you can make for each guy.
Runner going, it's fouled back. Well, Ian Kennedy got his 21st win for Arizona. He leads the league. Kershaw can tie him if he wins today. Kershaw is the ERA leader, 2.27. And in strikeouts, Kershaw, let's see, where is it?
242. I think he trails Lee. Cliff Lee, I think, is leading the league in strikeouts.
No, Kershaw is 10 ahead of Lee.
Oh, Kershaw's ahead of Lee.
Yeah. Kershaw can get the pitching triple crown. Runner going, and that's another looping line drive. Let's see. Nope, it's a hit in front of the center fielder, Schaefer. And another one of those Texas leaguers. And Field is 3 for 3 with 3 runs batted in. Well, a Texas guy gets a Texas leaguer, and what a day he's having.
I'm officially retiring my scorecard for the rest of the day.
Okay.
No longer going to keep track of this stuff. It's like the stock. You can't predict future results based on past performance. So you can't bring your outfielders in because of all these bloopers.
Right.
You still have to play the hitter in the situation. But it does become a little maddening after a while.
Boy, does it. 8 runs on 12 hits. Only 1 extra base hit.
I kind of wish Wigginton would have stopped at first. At least we would have that story developing with all the singles.
Millwood looks at strike one. He's bunted into a force, and he's bunted into a sacrifice.
Well, when you look at WHIP, walks plus hits per innings pitched, and really that's a pitcher's job, right, to limit the base runners. Cole Hamels has the best number in the National League in that regard.
Ooh. So how do you think they're going to stack up for the Phillies in the playoffs?
Oh, I think they're going to go Halladay, Lee, Hamels, Oswalt.
Okay. Slider works for a strikeout of Millwood. And in the 4th inning for the Rockies, they score 3 times on 5 hits and leave 2. They're up 8-1.
Finish the 2011 season, you can already start planning for the 2012 season. 2012 is the Astros' 50th anniversary, presented by the Methodist Hospital System, and season tickets are on sale now. Lock in great prices and benefits by purchasing early. Visit Astros.com for details. Bill?
Patty, tell JD what happened to your husband.
Well, my Studley husband won his game Friday night in triple overtime against Klein Collins. Of course, they are Klein Oak Panthers. They won in triple overtime, and as his reward, his players shaved his head. He is now my bald husband.
Wow.
He looks just like you, JD.
Nice. Welcome to the dark side.
It's worth it.
But now, had he was this something he had put out there? If we beat these guys, I'll shave my head, or?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it came out there. I don't know if it was a pregame thing or if it was a pre-overtime thing or what it was. But they jumped on it. He did it. I think he figured he didn't have much to lose. His hair's only about 1/8 of an inch long anyway.
Motivation. It's a beautiful thing.
It worked.
What a story.
Yeah, but he set a bad precedent. What are you going to do this time, Coach, if we win?
Yeah, as long as it's not, I'll shave my wife's head. Yeah. I don't really care what he does.
Whoa. Carlos Lee taking strike one. He struck out looking in the second.
Get the school logo tattooed to his forehead next.
0-2. Well, I'll tell you what, Greg and I will shave our heads if the Astros win this game.
Oh, my.
You heard it here. It's archive that.
Check the look on it. Look at the look on his face.
Well, the season's almost over. It would grow back.
Curveball and a check swing. It's 1-2. This could be the start of a huge rally with that check swing call right there.
So, Greg, if you did that, people wouldn't be calling you Milo anymore.
That's true.
We have to do something, Greg, to differentiate you, so we can differentiate you that way. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Folks haven't seen Milo in a while.
Ripped off. What a play.
Sure. There you go.
Kuzmanov.
Yeah. See, it's one of those days. All these flares falling in for the Rockies. Carlos blisters that one, and it's a hang with him.
Ball was scorched.
Pretty play.
Outstanding glove work by Kuzmanov for out number 1. Bogusevic is next. Brian grounding out the first and the second inning. He hit the ball extremely hard. He gets the slow curve. Millwood spins it in at 69 miles per hour. Boy, that's close to the slowest pitch we've seen this year, JD. 69.
Randy Wolf has flipped up some real slow curve balls.
Yeah.
I saw Wolfie in the low 60s. You don't see many in the 60s, though.
No.
Levon Hernandez. Roy every now and then.
2 balls, 1 strike. There was a story about Roy not wanting to retire the other day. He's had some back issues this year, but his agent said no, Roy's feeling great and he wants to keep pitching. 3-1. I think he has an option year on his contract, but don't know if the Phillies would pick that up or not. Bogusevic takes a walk. 1 out. First of the day for Millwood.
Roy Oswald has a 2012 club option for $16 million or a $2 million buyout.
Okay. Well, the Phillies are going to have to deal with Jimmy Rollins. I don't want to keep him. How much money they would have after that is anybody's guess at this point, except the Phillies. Chris Johnson singled to left center in the second. Strike 1 call.
You know, and they've got Joe Blanton under contract for next year as well.
Oh yeah.
Himmels, however, is not under contract.
Interesting. 0-2. He's arbitration eligible.
Yeah, He had signed a 3-year deal that expires this year, but yeah, he's not eligible to be free agent. He's got he'll just be shy. He'll be 5 plus 140 something, I think.
That's ball 1 to Johnson. 1 and 2 to CJ. Yankees got 4 in the 6th. They lead the Red Sox 6-2. Well, let's see. That doesn't add up. It should be 9-2. And the computer has not yet made that calculation.
Wow, 9 again. Boy, the Red Sox have been giving up 9 routinely here lately.
2 balls, 2 strikes. See what the no, that's it. See what the hand operated scoreboard has. Well, they didn't clock that 4-run inning yet. Oh, okay. It's 6-2. That is not a 4. It's a 1. There was some dirt on my computer.
You had whatever Red Sox fans were tuned into our game just gripping.
Barma squirts one over first base.
Foul.
Oh, yeah.
Cubs Cardinals 1-1, top of the 6th. I hate to see this thing slip away from the Braves.
Yeah.
But it would be fun, for the Cardinals to come in here with a lot on the line and make some drama here at the ballpark.
Okay, so refresh our memories. What happens if they tie for the wild card? Head-to-head? 1-game playoff?
Tie for the wild card. I don't know.
Don't know about that.
Yeah, they got to have a playoff.
Okay. 1 ball, 1 strike to Barmas. J.R. Tolles on deck. So that would be on Thursday. Fly ball goes out to left center field. Young moving in for it. For the 3rd out. In the 4th inning, it's no runs, no hits, and a man stranded. After 4, 8-1, Colorado.
And it is the final home sweet home of the season here at Minute Maid Park. And a home sweet home, of course, is when the Astros celebrate and pay some respect and honor our troops today. We've got the Air Force out here today, and this is Master Sergeant Joe Briseno with the 147th. We've got a bunch of guys from the Air Force up here in the suite. And Joe, you guys were down there on the field today. Tell us a little bit about your day.
We got to meet some of the players. We received the Astros coin, their memorabilia, and just thinking us back for coming back from the overseas.
You guys are coming back here. You're back from Afghanistan. What does it mean to you to come out here and have the Astros kind of take the time to celebrate and for you to be a part of this today?
It's an awesome feeling. Well, we don't normally get to see this kind of reception. So for us and the people to greet us back, it's an awesome feeling.
And you've got something special coming up in the 7th inning. Tell the fans what you guys get to do.
We get to go down there and everybody's going to welcome us back at the singing of the Glass West America. It's an awesome feeling, especially for my guys behind me. We can ask for nothing better.
All right. Well, we appreciate all you do. Thank you for spending some time with us, and thank you for all that you do for our country.
Thank you. Glad to do it.
All right, guys.
Yeah, Patty, it's been fun to see them honored on Sundays throughout the season, and those special seats for veterans returning have been occupied every game. So a nice tribute as they come back to this country. Foul ball by Young, and the count is 2-2 strikes to Eric with an 8-1 ball game. Rockies have out-hit the Astros 12-3. There's 3 games remaining. Wandy Rodriguez and Jaime Garcia in a matchup of lefties tomorrow night at 7:05. Wandy can finish the season with a winning record. He's 11-11. Garcia's 13-7. 3 balls, 2 strikes. We were remembering the end of the 06 season, JD, when the Cardinals were just slumping like crazy, and the Astros wound up having a shot going to the final day of the season at the playoffs, thanks to St. Louis just gagging, but they finally made it. And then, even though they barely made the wild card, they won the World Series.
Yeah, and that's the thing. People say, well, you can't just turn it on. Well, you can. You can just turn it on. You get into the postseason, and all of a sudden you dodge that bullet of being chased down from behind. You're energized again.
Yeah.
Everybody tries to find the formula by watching what teams do the final couple of weeks. Well, this team's, they won early, they clinched, they were able to rest their guys, so they have an advantage. And somebody else says, well, no, they've been playing tight games with a game of the season on the line every single night, so they're battle tested, they're ready for the postseason. And the reality is, either way, there's no way to predict how a team's going to perform in the postseason by the way they finish the regular season.
Right to Mark Ellis. A lot of people, if they had to pick right now who's going to be in the World Series, would go with the Phillies and the Yankees, just based on their best record in their leagues. Not so fast.
I would make the Phillies the clear favorite in the National League, but having said that, there would be no shocker if they got beat. I would not make the Yankees as strong a favorite in the American League. I kind of like that Ranger club, to tell you the truth.
Alexio Gando probably will be in the bullpen, from what some people are saying anyway, for the playoffs. And that could bolster them in the late innings. 2 balls and a strike. Popped up. Armas comes in, but Johnson wants it. 1 out. Seth Smith will bat. He has 2 walks and a single. Rockies have scored 709 runs coming into this game, but they've allowed 758. Well, they sure have high hopes for the 2 young pitchers that they obtained in that deal with the Indians for Ubaldo Jimenez, Drew Pomeranz and Alex White.
Yeah, they pitched the first 2 games of this series, and neither one of them pitched well. Pomeranz got ambushed. He was the guy that was out there when the Astros set a franchise record with 6 consecutive hits on Friday night. He's just 22 years of age and pitched well prior to that. No reason to think that he won't be a good big leaguer.
2-0. Jim Tracy's club headed out west after this to finish the season on the road. at San Francisco. 3 balls, no strikes. The Astros are 27-10 against the Rockies at Minute Maid Park. These two teams open up against each other next year. Strike makes it 3-1.
I'd be tired of seeing the Rockies here.
I'm talking with some of the Rockies broadcasters. That's a weird thing about these schedules now. That there was a series in Colorado late August. Now this one. That's it for the year between these two clubs. Runner going. That's pulled and toward the right field corner. It loops in for a hit in front of Bogusevic. With Young moving on the pitch, he easily goes to third on the single by Smith. Smith reaching base for the 4th straight time in this game.
Yeah, that ball had some top spin on it, so Bogusevic, as he approached it, I think thought he was going to be able to make a play, but it just got down too quickly on him. 3-1 count. Young's moving with the pitch, finds the ball and realizes that no play will be on it, so he continues on over to third. At that point, you probably go ahead anyway, because if it's caught, you're not going to be able to get back in time. O'Kale out there dispensing some wisdom to his young right-hander.
Lance Pendleton is getting ready in case that wisdom does not take hold. 45 pitches, 27 have been strikes. The hits are one-sided in favor of the Rockies, 13-3. Each club has 1 error. Kuzmanov singled and scored in the 4th. He's 1 for 3.
Yeah, you got to find a way to slow these hitters down. My goodness, they're on a pace to get about 20 hits in this game. Outscore the Broncos today.
Strike 1 to Kuzmanov. It's 0-2. Rodriguez. Lucas Harrell went the first 3 innings. He allowed 7 hits and 5 runs, 3 of them earned. Rodriguez came in the 4th. Gave up 3 runs on 5 hits in that inning. Now in this inning, a walk and a single. It's 1-2. To right field, Bogusevic with the runner tagging at third. Takes it in for out number 2. That'll make it 9-1 on the sac fly by Kuzmanov. Scoring Young. And Pacheco comes up. Pacheco's 3 for 3. He's scored 2 and driven in 1. He's had a chance to put his talents on display here in late September. Make an impression for next year. He went to the University of New Mexico. The Mountain West Conference Player of the Year in 2007. Drafted as a middle infielder, then converted to catcher in 2008. Now we've seen him play the infield again in this series. They strike 1. In 2008, he caught all year at Tri-City. And the next year at Asheville, he hit .322, drove in 79 runs. Smacks a liner, caught. Altuve's there for the 3rd out, and it's 1 run, 1 hit, and 1 man left for the Rockies in the 5th inning. And they stretch their lead. They're going to be tough to catch now, the way they have swung the bats in this game. On Colorado, the Astros come up in the bottom of the 5th inning. J.R. Tolles to lead it off. Another catcher, Carlos Corporan, is on deck as the Boy Scouts attend on a Sunday, the final Sunday.
A bunch of scouts here today.
A lot of merit badges and baseball teams.
Wonder if any of them need to earn their broadcasting badge.
Well, they might. They might have an opportunity to do exactly that. There's ball 1 to J.R. Tolles. So you would yield some of your innings?
Well, yeah, to get their badge.
Well, that's very gracious of you. And then you could talk them through.
I'll go sell some popcorn for them or something.
Okay. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You're talking about the tiebreaker for the wild card. Yes, it would be a 1-game playoff played the day after the season ends. Home field advantage determined by the head-to-head record between the two clubs during that season.
Well, we can check that out very quickly. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Cardinals won the season series from Atlanta 5-1. So that will be at Busch Stadium, and they're probably selling tickets already for that, JD. Not really.
But they're planning on it. They're hopeful to do so. You got to plan. You got to always be prepared in this business.
You have to have a plan.
Boy Scouts will tell you that.
The Yankees, of course, have home field advantage already locked up.
What about Tampa, Boston? That ends up in the top.
Not sure about that. Looping throw, and what a play by the shortstop field.
I think the Rays have beaten the Red Sox pretty good this year. So I'm guessing that one we played in Tampa.
I believe you're right. Yeah, they did have a big decided advantage over Boston. Look at Fields' play in the home.
Very smooth. Barmas-like.
True. Now Carlos Corporan is the pinch hitter for the pitcher Rodriguez. Corporan has not been playing much lately. Carries a 192 batting average, no homers, 11 runs batted in. He's hitting 175 as a left-handed batter. Ball 1 to Carlos. Carlos is hitting 176 in September, 3 hits and 17 at bats. Rodriguez in 2 innings allowed 6 hits, 4 runs. He walked 2 and had 1 strikeout.
You know what? A similar situation as Brett Myers was the other night. your team hits for a long time, you're in jeopardy of kind of getting out of rhythm a little bit. But it's a trade-off you'll take as your club has put 9 runs on the board for you.
Corporon puts it in the air, and the shortstop field is underneath. 2 outs. The Yankees clinched that home field advantage throughout the American League playoffs last night when Detroit lost and the Yankees won. So now they have a choice. They can rest people. They can play the regular lineup. But usually teams feel a responsibility to the wild card race in this case to put up a good effort to try to win. Schaefer is 1 for 2. Reached on an infield hit. In case of the Yankees Red Sox, I'm not so sure they would feel that way. 1-0 the count.
Right now you don't have to run anybody out to beat the Red Sox. Just throw 9 out there and you got a pretty good chance of beating them.
Yeah, they've been pretty bad in September. There have even been some rumors about Terry Francona's job. Jesus Montero will be on the playoff roster.
Terry can't pitch.
No. That's where the problem has been. Carl Crawford's had a bad year. Two balls, 2 strikes. You know, some people are thinking that Carl, with all of his speed as a left fielder, has not been able to make that such an advantage at Fenway because of the small left field there. Count is actually 2-2. The home plate umpire corrects.
Yeah, well, you don't need a speedy left fielder in Fenway.
No. Strikeout number 5.
His issues have been offensively.
Yes. And we go on to inning number 6 with the score 9-1 Colorado.
Astros baseball on Fox Sports Houston is brought to you by Gullo Automotive, treating you like family. Yeah, they're cheering here at Minute Maid Park. The game is not why, there's why. Yes, she is accepted.
No crying in baseball.
And she's probably saying, now I know why we're still here and it's 9-1.
She's saying,
yeah.
We're doomed. We got engaged in a 9-1 shellacking for the home team.
Sweet bliss on a Sunday. What a gentleman.
Oh, my.
You know, there's even more chivalry taking place in the stands today, Greg. Not too far from you. Just to your left in the front row, just to Drayton's right in that next section over, Christina Heinze And her fiance, as she was phoning us right before the game, just got engaged. The downtown restaurant, came right to the ball game, and they're sitting down by Drayton, and so same situation for them today. They found out they're going to be married. We go to the 6th inning, and it's 9-1. Lance Pendleton, the pitcher, line drive to left, 1 pitch, 1 out for Lance.
Lance smarter, realizing that all the bloopers are falling in. He's going to induce a line drive and get a quick out. It's that Rice education paying off.
Yeah. Lance has made just 2 appearances with the Astros, coming from the Yankees. He'll face Chris Iannetta next. Iannetta is 1 for 3 and has scored a run and driven in 1. That's in the air, and Carlos Lee goes for it. Altuve sprinting behind him, and Bogusevic. Carlos. 2 outs on 2 pitches.
That should be the game plan for the Rockies the rest of the way. 9-1 lead. It's getaway day. Final week of the season, nothing on the line. Almost like a spring training game.
Yeah. But Lance Pendleton has come in to run the hurry-up defense for the Astros. 2 pitches, 2 outs. Lance, 25 years old, from Houston.
Kingwood High, right?
Yep. All-Stater as a senior. And he was an outfielder there, and then pitched at Rice. It's in the 04 College World Series. 2 balls, no strikes to Field. So you have 2 native-born Texans squaring off here, and Field is 3 for 3 with 3 runs batted in this game. Pendleton had Tommy John surgery in 06. Three 3-0 for Lance. We were talking about the Yankees. They've already sewed up home field advantage in the American League playoffs. CC Sabathia did not pitch for them today. It was his day to pitch, but he pitched 4 simulated innings and threw 65 pitches, and he'll be their starter in game 1 of the American League Division Series. They didn't want to take the risk of pitching him in a game.
And that's the thing, you talk about, you owe it to the teams in contention to put a representative team out there, but only to a certain extent. You owe it to your club, your fans, to do whatever you need to do to get ready to play the postseason.
Sure. Field takes a 2-out walk. Kevin Millwood back to the plate again. He's 0 for 2 with a sac bunt in this game. Yankees are leading the Red Sox 6-2 in the 9th inning without CC Sabathia on the mound. And the Rays lead the Blue Jays 5-2. It's getting tight. The American League wild card race popped up, and J.R. Tolles comes back. Strike 1 on Millwood. We've got a little drama going on.
What was the Red Sox lead coming into September? That's the number I want to look at.
Maybe 9.
Pretty comfortable, yeah.
Something like that.
So we're talking.
Oh yeah.
One of the all-time great collapses here.
That's right. Of course, the Phillies had that big collapse in '64. They lost 10 in a row. They were up by 6.5 or 12 to play, I believe. High to left field. Martinez racing back, and now at the base of the wall, he looks up and watches it sail into the seats for a 2-run homer for Kevin Millwood. His 2nd home run of this year. Millwood's only made 9 starts, and he has 2 homers. It's his 4th career major league homer. That's the Rockies' first home run of the day.
Pendleton trying to go down and away. Throws one right over the heart of the plate. Still, you don't expect the opposing pitcher to drop one like this on you. Not most pitchers anyway. How about that? What a day. Gone deep, and he has a 10-run lead.
Dontrell Willis was the last pitcher to homer against the Astros when the Reds were here. He hit a bolt to right field. Now Eric Young taking ball 1. Been on twice. 14 hits for the Rockies. They lead it 11-1, and Tolles is going out to the mound, and Brocail is headed that way.
Dear Bud, in September, how about instituting the 10-run rule? We might see Matt Downs pitch today.
That could happen.
Get Bracamani an inning. Suba. Get Suba in there for a hitter or two.
Stretch Suba once played left field in an exhibition game for the Astros at College Station many years ago. Astros were playing Texas A&M.
Back when I was playing.
That was a cold night, JD.
I wasn't there. I was at home watching it on TV. You guys did it on TV, right?
We were out in the stands, exposed to the elements.
I probably had to pitch the next day or something because I was at home.
You probably built a fire and put your feet up on the couch.
I do remember you guys having some fun with Stretch dashing across left field to catch a pop-up.
That's true. You have a heck of a memory if you remember that. That's a strike, and it's 3-2. Well, we all know you do anyway.
Well, only about certain things.
Yeah.
You wouldn't forget Stretch playing left field.
No. There's Stretch in the bullpen, but
time bullpen catcher for the Astros. What? How many years, Stretch? 30 years? 30 plus?
30 plus, yeah. Rolled out, and Altuve to his left. Spins. Whoa.
Look out.
Carlos with a collision. Appears to be okay. And both players okay as Young is safe at first base.
Valiant effort here by Altuve. And Young, a speedy guy going down the line. Looks like he was going to beat it anyway. Rule the base hit. So pulls Carlos across the line into the path of EY Jr.
That's dangerous. Oh. It's more of a bump than EY got at home plate last night.
Yeah, and it's definitely a blocking foul. Carlos was not stationary to draw the charge there. So that's his second personal.
Well, he may have to go to the bench for an inning or two and then come back. Two balls, no strikes to Mark Ellis.
If you're still watching this game, raise your hand at home. Let me count. 5, 6.
Now 3 balls, no strikes to Ellis. Atlanta Braves are not ruling out Jair Jurgens pitching for them in the division series. Even though he's been hurt. Strike for Pendleton, and it's 3-1. Well,
Atlanta trailing 3-0 now in Washington. It's middle of the 8th, so they've only got one at bat left.
Barmas takes care of it, and in the 6th inning, 2-run score on the homer by Millwood on 2 hits of the man left, and it's 11-1 Colorado. Colorado leading Houston. Bottom of the 6th inning coming your way. Altuve, Martinez, and Lee due to bat. For the Astros here, they got an unearned run in the 3rd inning. Kevin Millwood has been very much in command in this game and also has provided a 2-run homer for his own cause. Now he has plenty of working room with the 10-run lead with Altuve coming up here in the 6th inning. Altuve single to right center in the 3rd. He's 1 for 2. Braves are batting in the 9th, trailing the Nationals 3-0.
He's pitching for the Nationals today.
Drew Storen is in relief. Let me check who started. I think Detweiler started. Yeah, Detweiler was.
Detweiler. Very nice. You know, this is also the anniversary of Nolan Ryan's 5th no-hitter. We talked earlier about Scotty's clincher in '86 and 1981. Nolan threw his 5th no-hitter, beating the Dodgers in the Astrodome 5-zip.
Final out, a ground ball by Dusty Baker to Art Howe. It's got to be a thrill to take part in a no-hitter like that. Make the play for the final out. 2 balls and a strike.
That's when a routine ground ball becomes anything but routine, right?
Oh, yeah. 3-1. As a matter of fact, there's a pretty good chance we're having secret negotiations right now to get Art Howe to join us for an inning today.
What's his rate?
Not sure. Fly ball goes out to right center field. Smith is waiting. 1 out. Frequently from time to time we have guest commentators come in the booth. J.D. Martinez is fly to right and struck out. So we can tap into their tremendous bank of knowledge. Detweiler went 6 innings. He gave up 4 hits and no runs today. And then the bullpen came in. Now Drew Storen's on the mound trying to close out the Braves. Minor gave up 1 run in 4 2/3. But here again, the Braves not getting a lot of innings out of their starters. Chris Medlin is in there right now. He just came back from the 60-day disabled list today.
Cardinals, though, are now trailing the Cubs 2-1. Chicago scoring in the top of the 7th. Runs have been really hard to come by in that series this weekend in St. Louis.
Good day to scoreboard watch.
Yeah, a lot of drama, a lot of pressure for those clubs. And it's kind of fun because it looked like a few weeks ago that there would be no drama down the stretch.
Martinez smacks a liner. It's caught by the center fielder, Young. 2 outs.
We just had Kevin. Kevin looked it up and showed us that on September 1st, the Red Sox were actually in first place ahead of the Yankees in 9 games better than the Tampa Rays. So they have really coughed it up here.
Yes, they really have. Carlos Lee is struck out looking, and he's lined at third, and Kuzminov made a terrific diving play to get him out. There is strike 1 to Lee. Detroit down Baltimore 10-6. Brad Penny won his 11th. He's 11-11. Kuzminov charges, gets it on the short hop, throws him out for a 1-2-3 6th inning. Art Howe will be joining us soon. It's 11-1 Rockies. Top of the 7th inning coming. Art Howe has agreed to join us after intense negotiations. And Art doing a lot of duty today. Pre-game, post-game, game. We were just talking about the Nolan Ryan no-hitter. You made the final play in that no. Dusty Baker hit you a ground ball, right?
Yes, yes.
What was that like?
It was nerve-wracking because that's the only ground ball I got in the whole game.
Wow.
I think I had a pop-up or two maybe during the game, but I knew with Dusty up there, there was a good chance he was going to turn on something. And I was hoping it was going to be a nice, easy play. But it wasn't, really. It was like an in-between hop, and thank goodness I made the play.
You know, it's got to be such a thrilling deal because the pitcher is the focal point, but the whole team, usually, as Nolan said, when we talked about that, he said there's usually one or two great plays that have to be made in a no-hitter.
Yes, and I think maybe I'm getting old and my memory's going on me, but I think TP might have made a real nice play in that ball game.
Yes, that's what Nolan remembered. Yep.
Yeah, if it wasn't for that, Nolan would have had one less one, but he's had his share.
Yeah. 7.
Yeah, something else.
Wow. You know, when I played behind him, I really felt like in the first inning, if he was getting his curveball over, that he had no-hit stuff every time he went out there. It was just a question if he was getting that curveball over. And, man, the other team was in trouble.
It was a base hit to Barmas. Hit well by Smith.
You must have had some interesting conversations with opposing players. You know, back in the day when Nolan and JR were pitching, guys that you'd see if you were playing first base, or if you talked to guys before the game around the cage, just what their mindset was having to face that stuff.
You know, they all said it was an uncomfortable 0 for 12 because we used to mix Nuxie in the middle all the time.
Yeah.
You know, you go hard, soft, hard, and that was a tough 3-game series for anybody coming in. I heard a lot of grumbling coming past third base when I was playing third. Yeah, that was great to be on their side.
Kuzmanov crushed one. Wow. That was off the facing above the Landry's Crawford boxes. A 2-run homer for Kuzmanov. 13-1 now, Colorado.
Where's the mercy rule in the major leagues?
We're talking about that.
I'm telling you, there's many a time I've been on this side of the ball game, and I wish I could have just said, hey, you guys win, let's go home, and we'll come up tomorrow and see what happens.
You know, JD was talking about maybe Matt Downs would pitch today.
Ooh.
As a manager, I know you don't take that decision lightly to use a position player.
Did you ever do it? Did you run a position player out there?
A couple times. One time, believe it or not, I brought Frank Menachino into Colorado. And 9 runs later, and poor Frankie. There was no mercy rule. I think it ended up like a 19-2 or something. Yeah, we were getting thumped, and my pitching staff was totally shot. So Frankie, he volunteered. He said, hey, Skip, I can go out there and give you 1 inning. That was easier said than done. I think Craig Reynolds might have pitched an inning for me somewhere along the line. And he got him out, I think. So,
sometimes about the only thing you can salvage from a game like this is to have a little fun, you know, run a position player out there and save the pen and maybe have a chuckle or two.
Strike out for out number 1.
But at least you have a lot of arms in the pen this time of year.
Yeah.
You know, you can run them out there left and right.
Yeah, that would be the tough thing here. If there's a couple kids out there that are still pretty fresh, and they were sitting out there when you ran Matt Downs out there, they'd be, I really can't even pitch in this game.
Yeah, yeah, that wouldn't be good.
Strike there for Pendleton on Ty Wigginton. Strike 1. Art, a lot of this 50th anniversary talk, of course, up here this weekend with special giveaways and the new logo unveiled, and next year should be a special year with probably a lot of get-togethers for you with former teammates coming into town, sounds like.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. In fact, we had an alumni group last night here, and down the right field line, had a great time seeing old friends and teammates, and you know the stories. You know, Jimmy, the stories get a little out of hand at times.
Some of them are even true.
Yeah. But yeah, it's great to see old. No, he's another Wiggy played here and did a good job for the Astros.
Sure did. Now he's headed for third base on a triple up Tal's Hill. It's his 3rd hit of the game. 2nd triple of the year.
I had Wiggy in New York before he came here. He's a gamer. This kid plays everywhere on the field and can really swing the bat. Does a great job.
Yeah, I liked it. I really enjoyed having him here. Wasn't here long, but good player.
Yep. But with the guys last night, it was just very nice to see some.
Yeah, so was there a big turnout? Was there a lot of guys?
It was a very nice turnout. Yeah.
Well, you guys have had opportunities down through the years to stay pretty close, haven't you?
Yes, we have. There's a lot of guys have stayed here in Houston, in the Houston area, and all the charity golf events. You get to reunite with guys and just get to say hello and see how their families are doing. It's always nice.
All right, we know you were away in Italy for a while this year. Tell us about that experience.
It was a wonderful experience. It's the second year I've been able to go over in the month of August and help run a camp for MLB International over there. And all the top prospects from Europe, all of Europe, are invited into this one location near Pisa. And we work them out for about 4 weeks. And, in the mornings we work out, afternoon play games, and the scouts can come over there and see all of them in one spot. So it's really convenient for the scouts and everybody in baseball. We probably had about 15 scouts come over there last year.
So are these high school age kids, college kids?
Yeah, 15 to 20 ages. And most of them are somewhere in between. We had like one 15-year-old and one 20-year-old.
Are they kids that have played a fair amount of baseball, or are they athletes that you're trying to kind of teach the game to?
They play the game, but they just don't play it as much as we do over here. They're lucky to play 2 games on a weekend. The Dutch seem to be the furthest advanced, and obviously Italy and Germany somewhere right behind them. But there's some kids from the Netherlands that are pretty good.
Field with a liner to right and another hit for Field. Tommy Field with his 4th hit to go with a walk in this game.
He's got to have some family here, doesn't he?
No,
Texas kid.
He's having a big day.
Wow.
Number 8 hitter on base for the 5th straight time. You were talking on the Astros live show about Kevin Millwood. You two were together with the Rangers. He's a guy who's throwing the ball well tonight. And, there are a lot of guys in his situation. They don't really have a contract for next year, so there is that September incentive, even for a guy who's accomplished as much as he has.
Most definitely. I went in and actually spoke to Millie before the game, and he was telling me he's going to try to, hook on with somebody next year. Hopefully he gets another opportunity. And obviously he's trying to impress the Rockies right now with the way he's finishing up. And he probably will want me to come in the clubhouse more often and hit a home run.
Varmus with the play, and Lee will just tag Millwood. We'll keep it right here for God Bless America. 14-1 Colorado in the 7th.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, as part of this season's home sweet, the Astros and Budweiser are pleased to welcome to this afternoon's game service members who have recently returned home from overseas deployment. Welcome home, gentlemen. To thank them for their service and to honor all those who are protecting our freedom around the world every day while honoring our great nation, please join this young man, a former World War II Army vet who just celebrated his 93rd birthday last week. Joe Prince joins us now for the singing of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my my home, sweet home.
Well, Art Howe has joined us here. We've had the 7th inning stretch. And Art, before you leave, I wanted to ask you about the movie Moneyball. JD has seen it. I have not. I didn't read the book. I think, JD, did you read the book?
Yeah, it's been a while. I wrote it. I think I read it maybe shortly after it came out.
This was a movie that they were going to make, and you were going to play yourself a couple of years ago, right?
Yes, and the day before we were going to start shooting, they banged it and decided they were going to go in this direction. Which I saw the movie the other night, JD. Yeah, because I've been getting calls on it left and right, and I figured I better at least go see it and see what everybody's talking about. And very upset, to be honest with you, the way I was portrayed in the movie, because as Jimmy played for me, he knows the kind of manager I was. I really felt that I was a player's manager and kind of easygoing, and this movie made me look like a grumpy old man and very self-centered and just trying to do everything I could to give myself credit, and I think anybody who's played for me knows that's the furthest thing from the truth.
Yeah, I thought it was, and obviously I wasn't with those clubs, but it would not be uncommon for a manager and a general manager to have a little creative tension or differences of opinion, and that's probably a storyline that could have been developed, but it was kind of like, well, here's Billy Beane. He's the smartest guy in the room, and everybody that doesn't agree with him is going to be a foil in this movie. And it just
exactly.
And it didn't seem very realistic. Well, that end of it.
Well, there's so much of it that it was so unreal, and things that really didn't happen. It was like a 3 or 4 year period of time that they, Paul DiBattista, he joined the club in 1999. They made it look like he joined the club in that year, 2002,
and the way some of those trades would come down, like 30 seconds on the phone, the trades consummated.
Unbelievable. And me asking for an extension during the season, my agent took care of all my negotiations, and it was always in the off season. They just did everything they could to make me look bad, to be honest with you.
And how was your relationship with Beane? How did it play out over the time you were there together?
As you said, Jim, you have differences of opinion, but once you leave the room, you're on the same page, and you're going to do what's best for the team and whatever it takes to win. But maybe I didn't realize how much he was upset with me. I don't know. We had a lot of winning seasons there. In the last 3 years, we made the playoffs, won over 100 games the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And I had a year left to my contract, but that kind of tells you how I felt about staying out there. So I had to move on.
Well, Art, do you think that the movie that you were originally scheduled to make, when they canceled it, it just didn't have enough controversy for the studios to go with? You think?
I guess that, plus I think they thought it was going to be more of a documentary, and I think they were going to have some of that in there, but it was going to be an interesting story because Steven Soderbergh was going to do it. He was going to direct it, and he wanted to show people exactly how things were done behind the scenes, you know, in baseball. But evidently, they didn't think that would be exciting enough. And believe it or not, Brad Pitt was still going to be in the movie. He was going to still be Billy Beane.
Oh, was he? Okay.
I had a conversation with Ed Wade the other day, and I got talking about how I thought how unrealistic some of the scenes about trades were, and and he said, well, some come quickly, but I said, yeah, you'll watch this movie, and there's no way that happens that quickly. And I said, I said, you ought to write a book because I've been around this game my whole life, and I've never been in that manager's office or general manager's office when those conversations take place and conversations with the agents as the trades come down. To me, that would be very interesting stuff to read or see on film.
Yeah, it would. And be honest, there's a part in the movie with Magnanti when he went in and to release Magnanti, and that never happened because I was the one that released Magnanti. He had to come in the office, and me and Rick Peterson had to break it to him that we were going to have to make a move. There's a lot more to that story, but I won't go any further.
Good catch by Young to end it here in the 7th inning. Art, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, gentlemen.
We'll stay tuned for Astros Live with Art and Kevin after the game. Young with a good layout ends it here in the 7th.
Uncensored. See what they're saying at Hyundai.com. That was an interesting conversation you fellas had with Art about the movie and how he was no doubt unfairly portrayed, because I've heard that from others.
Yeah, we had heard that some controversy had been injected in the movie that had not been there in real life, but that's Hollywood, as they say, right?
They got to make money early, Controversy sells.
Angel Sanchez enters the game at shortstop in a double switch. The new pitcher is a part of that double switch. Xavier Cedeno taking over for the 8th inning, and he has pitched twice with an ERA of 0.
So even though it's a lopsided game, it has the feel of an exhibition game now as we wind down the final days of the season. An opportunity for Cedeno to get out there. I guarantee it doesn't feel like an exhibition game for him. Chance to get on a big league mound against big league hitters. Doesn't matter if it's a 2-1 game in July or a blowout in September.
And you could say a bonus opportunity because he had gone home to Puerto Rico when he got the call to join the Astros. That was because of the injury to Sergio Escalona, who sprained his ankle and is out for the year. The Astros needing another lefty in the bullpen, and now Cedeno works the 8th inning. 21,621 the paid attendance on Fan Appreciation Day. Cedeno is pitcher number 4 for Houston. Lance Pendleton in 2 innings allowed 6 hits, 5 runs, walking 1, fanning 1. Young has been on base 3 times. He was hit by a pitch. He walked and got an infield hit. Most runs the Astros have allowed in a game this year is 14. The last time was against Tampa Bay before today on June 26th, and the most hits they've allowed 19 against Tampa Bay June 26th, and they've tied that today. 2 balls, no strikes. Ellis and Smith to follow. Cardinals got a run in the 8th. They're still batting, and they lead the Cubs 3-2 with a chance to gain a game on Atlanta. Sanchez takes that one over to Carlos Lee for out number 1. So both wild card races could be tightening today. Boston losing game 1 of the doubleheader to the Yankees, and Tampa Bay winning. That's now a half-game lead for Boston, and that lead is 1 game in the loss column. Atlanta has lost, and if St. Louis wins, that would be a 1-game lead for Atlanta.
It's going to be on that shaky Cardinal bullpen to make it hold up.
Well, that's for sure. Strike to Ellis.
I joked earlier about the Rockies outscoring the Broncos. They're tied. Broncos scored 14 today.
This might be the first time in history that's happened. No balls, 2 strikes. 3-2. The Cardinals have that lead going to the 9th. Edwin Jackson went the first 7. Sapchinski and Dotel divided the 8th. Yadier Molina hit his 14th homer. Rafael Furcal number 8. Lined into center field. The Furcal homer broke the 2-2 tie in the bottom of the 8th for St. Louis.
He's probably hit 4 or 5 home runs since joining them.
Yeah, he's done well offensively. He's looking at Pujols. Pujols 0 for 3 today with a 301 average. Berkman 0 for 2. He's hitting 299 now. That's 20 hits for a high allowed by the Astros this season. Greg Reynolds warming up for Colorado. Seth Smith has 3 of the 20. 3 for 3 with a pair of walks. Strike to Smith.
Furcal's hit 6 home runs with the Cardinals. I have hit 6, I think, prior to today.
Interesting. That's a pretty good. Well, he might have hit 10 or so. What do you think his high is in the season?
He had 1 with the Dodgers.
Okay.
But he only played 37 games with the Dodgers. He had 15 home runs in 2 different seasons.
Okay.
1 in Atlanta and then his first year in LA.
Cedeno delivers another ball. It's 2-1. He moves his arm slot around, showing the hitter different looks. Dropped down on the previous pitch. The Angels lead Oakland 2-0. They played 4 in Anaheim. And we'll have to check who's starting. No, it's Pinheiro has not allowed a hit through 4. 3 balls, 1 strike. Texas 6, Seattle 3. They're in the bottom of the 5th in Arlington. Adrian Beltre reached the 30 home run mark. And Ian Kinsler belted his 31st. That's a strike, making it a full count on Smith. Tonight at Yankee Stadium in the night portion of the day-night doubleheader, it's John Lackey for Boston. 12-12 with a 6.49 ERA. Ivan Nova for the Yankees, 16-4 with a 3.62.
Not a good matchup on paper for the Bo Sox.
No, not at all.
John Lackey with a chance to be a hero.
Oh, couldn't he be? Yeah. Milwaukee 8, Florida 4. They're in the top of the 7th in Milwaukee. MVP candidate Ryan Braun hit his 33rd home run. Out to center field. Schaefer in. 2 outs.
And Lackey's last start against Baltimore, he allowed 8 runs on 11 hits and 4 1/3.
Kevin Kuzminoff has hit one of the 2 home runs for the Rockies in this game. That was a 2-run shot in the 7th inning. He also has a sac fly. This one heads for left field and deep. J.D. Martinez backing off the wall, watching that one go in for another home run for Kuzminoff. A 2-home run game for Kuzminoff and 5 runs batted in. And this is the biggest allowance for the Astros in terms of runs and hits given up this year.
Rockies just went by the Broncos. Kind of having fun all weekend with Kuzminoff's nickname, the Crushing Russian, when he first came to the big leagues. And whether the numbers he put up this year had deserved that nickname, this weekend he certainly earned it.
He's hit his 2nd and 3rd homers as a Rocky today. Make it 16-1. And Pacheco bats. Pacheco is 3 for 5 with an RBI. Taking strike 1. Phillies 9, Mets 3, bottom of the 8th inning in New York. Hunter Pence at his 21st. Ronnie Paulino for the Mets, number 2 of the year. Vance Worley on the mound right now. One and one. Halladay went 6 shutout innings and they got him out. So Worley's pitching in relief. Smashed into center field. Hit number 3 of the inning. Pacheco's 4th of the day. Halladay will wind up with a 2.35 ERA for the season. Now the Cardinal game has gone final. They win and they are 1 game behind Atlanta for the National League wild card.
Wow. It's going to be interesting.
It is on tomorrow night for the Cardinals. They are pushing hard to try to get to the playoffs. And they'll be here 7:05 tomorrow night. Wandy Rodriguez and Jaime Garcia in a matchup of lefties at 7:05. Ty Wigginton has a single, a double, a triple. Ball 1. Wigginton has 15 home runs this year. A shot at a cycle here. The Rockies have hit 3 homers in the last 3 innings.
Looking at the National League standings as of September 1, Atlanta had an 8.5 game edge in the wild card over the Cardinals.
That's just amazing that there could be 2 races like that with such a turnaround in the wild card. Big turns.
Wow.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Clayton Kershaw got early run support. The Dodgers got 2 in the first at San Diego, and it's 2-0 Dodgers. Padres batting home 3rd inning. They don't have a hit yet off Kershaw. In the hole, sliding. Sanchez gets up, throws to second, safe there. Good play, but Pacheco was able to beat the throw to Altuve. Wigginton gets his 4th hit.
If you don't have 4 hits today for the Rockies, you're just not trying.
Wow.
You are underachieving.
Pacheco, Wigginton, Field, all with 4 hits.
22 hits for the Rockies now. They've scored in every inning except for the first.
Iannetta has driven in a pair. He has a single and a sac fly. Wade Davis got Tampa Bay's win over Toronto 5-2. He goes to 11-10, beating Brett Cecil, who's 4-11. Joel Peralta with his 6th save. Strike one call to Iannetta.
So the Cardinals come here for 3. Atlanta hosts the Phillies in their final 3-game series.
Oh, interesting. Brad Mills was saying that, and, if you're managing a club like the Phillies, you really want to have a couple good games there at the very end of the season, even though you've clinched everything you can clinch.
Right now, Lee Oswald Hamel scheduled to pitch for the Phillies in that series. I'm not sure how much they will pitch.
That's another good point. They might be pulled out earlier than normal.
Oh, yeah, for sure they will. If they do stay in the rotation, Charlie may decide to change things up a little bit, but I can't imagine that they'd go much beyond 5 innings with any of those guys.
And Halladay went 6 today. He usually breezes through 6. Didn't see what the pitch count was on him. Detweiler in Washington shut out Atlanta 3-0 with Minor the loser, and Storen got his 42nd save for Washington. With homers from Morse and Ramos. Morse hit his 29th. To left center field, Martinez legging it back toward the bullpen fence. Now he turns away and looks at it, and it disappears. 3-run homer by Iannetta, giving him a 5 RBI game. And it's a football score here.
Now, Canadian football score, because the Astros only have 1. They failed to run out a missed field goal, or whatever that rule is in Canadian football.
Wow. 14th homer for Iannetta. Now it's 55 runs batted in.
And Tracy's not going to have enough game balls to hand out after this one.
It's a 4th home run for the Rockies. And they've all come in the last 3 innings. 19 runs on 24 hits. 2 hopper to Johnson. Low throw. Carlos Lee is able to hang on to it at first. In the 8th inning, the Rockies put up another big frame. Scoring 5, they lead it 19-1.
Top of the Astros at Astros.com and browse the largest online selection of authentic team gear, including official caps, t-shirts, jerseys, collectibles, and more. Get your team gear straight from the source. Shop Astros.com/shop. And they have a whole bunch of stuff. They'll have stuff starting in December for the 50th anniversary celebrations. And they've got a lot of other stuff for you to select. Christmas gifts, birthday gifts, just plain old gifts. Or buy some for yourself.
Kevin Millwood, with all this offense, has checked out after 7 innings. He did a fine job himself, retiring the last 11. Millwood allowed just 3 hits and 1 run. The run was unearned in his 7 innings of work. Greg Reynolds takes over And the 26-year-old right-hander listed as 6'7", 225, was a first-round pick in 06. He was the second player drafted that year. He's 3-0 with the Rockies.
I want to know with a 7.07 ERA as a relief pitcher. And he's done a little of both for the Rocks.
Millwood walked one and he fanned 6, qualifying for win number 4 of the year with the Rockies. J.R. Tolles leads it off. Angel Sanchez due up second, and then it's Jordan Schaefer set to bat third in the inning. Tolles is struck out and he's grounded to short. Field made a great play on his grounder. Now Field comes in on this roller. Pacheco kept his foot on the bag. That's 1 out.
So now completing his chase down there. I think Brian Gorman called him out on a tag. Still wants to talk about it.
Juan Abreu is working for the Astros as Sanchez steps in. Angel at 238 with a homer, has 27 runs batted in. There's strike one for Reynolds. Reynolds was born in Pacifica, California, and went on to Stanford. He was quite a highly sought quarterback as well. Stanford has done extremely well in developing both quarterbacks and baseball players.
This Rocky team is loaded with ex-quarterbacks.
What do we have? Helton, Smith.
This guy. It qualifies as loaded in my world.
Yeah. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Reynolds won game 1 of a doubleheader in New York this year with the Mets, and then after that he was optioned to AAA Colorado Springs between games, so the Rockies could bring up another pitcher. Strikes him out. 2 outs. He had made his major league debut in 08, going 2-8 with an 8.13 ERA that year.
See, that's the other rule I would endorse in a game like this. If the Rockies wanted to waive their final at bat,
okay,
we'll just stay out here and try to get 6 outs and move on.
You have some very innovative ideas. Schaefer's 1 for 3, scored a run. There's strike 1. Dontrell Willis finally got his first win. Cincinnati down Pittsburgh 5-4.
Good for him.
Yeah,
he had a number of pretty good starts, but couldn't get into the win column.
True.
At least he could take that one home with him this winter.
Francisco Cordero saved it for him, his 35th save of the year. Octavio Dotel was the Cardinal winner, 3-2 over the Cubs, beating Randy Wells. Jason Mott got save number 9. And for Call's 8th inning homer, proved to be the game winner in St. Louis. 1 ball, 1 strike for Reynolds. He's had 5 different stints with the Rockies this year. 2-1. Three games remaining. And tomorrow night on FS Houston, first of the 3 FS Houston final telecasts of the year. 6:30 for Astros Live. Produced by Jeff Lillicoch.
You know, the Cardinal faithful, if they're looking at the schedule, the conspiracy theorists go, hey, Bud Norris was supposed to pitch today. They're holding him back to pitch against the Cardinals.
They might be.
Wandy, Henry Sosa on Tuesday, Brett Myers in the finale.
By the way, Bud gets credit for an appearance last night at Social Media Night in the patio in center field. And J.D. Martinez mingling with the fans. That's a strikeout to end the 8th inning, and we move to the 9th inning with a score 19-1 Rockies. Colorado leading, and we're looking at margin of defeat. And the Astros lost a 16-0 game at Atlanta May 8, 2005. It's the largest margin of defeat.
Or MOD, as we like to say in the business.
Hard to believe it came in their World Series year. A 16-run loss. Juan Abreu comes in for the 9th with an ERA of 1.93.
Juan Abreu has worked 5 times. He pitched a scoreless inning Friday night, struck out 3 batters in that inning, and that's kind of been his game. Look, he's got 11 strikeouts in 4 2/3 innings so far in an Astro uniform.
That's quite a rate. Struck out 3 in a scoreless inning Friday night. The Astros won that game 11-2, but the tables have turned here today as the Rockies have pounded away. Abreu getting ready for the 9th inning, and it'll be the 9-1-2 spots coming up for the Rockies. Little nap time there. Arizona got 2 in the first and leads San Francisco 2-0 after 3 in Arizona. Tim Lincecum on the losing end of that one. Josh Colmenter has the lead. Pitcher Greg Reynolds leads it off here in the 9th inning. Reynolds is 1 for 7. Kevin Millwood hit a 2-run homer in the 6th inning. That's ball 1. Jason Hamill is another Rocky pitcher who's gone deep this year. One ball and 1 strike. It's 2-1 now. Well, it's a long time in the clubhouse for the Red Sox, waiting for the night game to start after losing the day game 1 in New York. Those are long days. 2 and 2.
Yeah, what's the game time tonight?
We think it's 7. We don't know. Strikeout looking. That's out number 1. Red Sox are 5-18 in September, and they've lost 7 of their last 8. Young has been on 3 times with a hit, a walk, and he was hit by a pitch. Fouls that when there's strike 1. Abreu misses there, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Abreu coming in the Atlanta Braves deal, the Michael Bourne trade. It's a 5:30 start for Boston and the Yankees, our time. Lackey and Nova.
A team ERA of 6.15 for the Red Sox in September coming into play today.
Ooh.
They've continued to score runs, but pitching has been awful.
It's hard to remember a team in a position to be a playoff team with that kind of an ERA in September.
Well, and at the trade deadline, Theo Epstein said, we're going to be able to fix our pitching internally because he thought he'd be getting those guys Buchholz, and Lester was hurt at the time, and just thought he would get them back on top of their games, and they'd be fine. And just Lester's back. Buchholz still not pitching, is he?
Nope. But they hope to get him back if they go to the playoffs. Now they're at that point. I think he threw an inning in Florida today or something. Young takes a stroll with 1 out. Reaching base for the 4th time. Phillies are batting in the top of the 9th, leading at New York 9-4. And that is the same score for Milwaukee, leading 9-4 after 7 at home against Florida. Fouled away by Ellis, who has 2 hits and a sac fly. 24 hits for the Rockies. They've left 10 on base. 3 hits for the Astros. They've left 3 on base. Line to left field. Hit number 25 drops in. Ellis gets his 3rd hit. And it'll be Smith. Smith has 3 hits. This is a club record for the Rockies, 25 hits in a game.
Ironic that it happened on the road, isn't it?
Very much so. Let's see, the guys with 3 hits. Ellis has 3, Smith has 3, Kuzmanov has 3, Pacheco with 4, Wigginton with 4, Field with 4. Strike to Smith.
This is a team that came into the game dead last in the National League in runs scored on the road, with a .238 road batting average. Batting average better only than the Atlanta Braves, .232, and Washington .235. Of course, by the end of this game, the Rockies might be like 3rd in the league in road batting average.
The way they're going. Two balls, 1 strike. If you're a football team and you lose a game as one-sided as this one, you're gnashing your teeth over that all week.
.5 hits and 46 at-bats for the Rockies.
That's pretty rare.
The Timmy Kirkjians and Jason Starks of the world, they're going to have a blast with this one.
Crunch some
We're
numbers.
going to have some unbelievable factoids coming our way in the next couple of days.
They're hitting .543 as a team in this game.
They've tied, in terms of runs, their total output from their last 7-game homestand.
And they lost all 7. Three balls, 2 strikes to Smith. They've come roaring out of a 9-game losing streak. They won in the 13th last night, 4-2. They have an .870 team slugging percentage in this game. Kevin Millwood hit his 2nd homer. Kevin Kuzminoff hit his 2nd and 3rd home runs. Chris Iannetta hit his 14th. So if you were to say that the Rockies would score 19 runs on 25 hits without Todd Helton and Carlos Gonzalez and Troy Tulowitzki, people would be shaking their heads. And that's another deep drive. Schaefer back into right center field, and on the warning track he catches up with it. Here's the tag at second, and Young advances. A long out, number 2.
Yeah, I believe I said somewhere in the early part of this game that they don't have a lot of firepower in our lineup today.
Well, duly noted. And to look at batting averages and home run totals, that was correct. For one game, pretty explosive. Kuzminoff has hit a couple of long balls, one in the 7th, one in the 8th, each driving in 2. He has a 5 RBI game. Seth Smith saw 36 pitches in this game. He had 3 hits, 2 walks, and he flied out twice on 3-2 counts.
Moneyball.
Yeah. Strike 1 to Kuzminoff. It's 1-1. Cracked bad roller. Chris Johnson there. And he gets it to Altuve for the force play on Ellis. It's no runs, 1 hit, 2 men stranded. Bottom of the 9th arriving, 19-1.
No runs, Browning. No runs.
No runs. And the Colorado Rockies, with 25 hits, have set a club record in this game, and they've switched their catcher and first baseman. Chris Iannetta goes from catcher to first base. Jordan Pacheco makes the opposite move. Pacheco's behind the plate now for the bottom of the 9th inning with Greg Reynolds on the mound. Pacheco showing his versatility in this series.
In case you were wondering, The most lopsided baseball game, major league game in history, took place not too long ago, August of 2007. The Rangers beat the Orioles 30-3.
Ooh. Well, the Astros have managed only 3 hits. They had a second inning single from Chris Johnson, third inning back-to-back singles from Schaefer and Altuve. Altuve leads it off here in the home ninth. He's 1 for 3. Xavier Cedeno in 1 inning allowed 5 hits, 5 runs with no walks or strikeouts. Fouled away. There's strike 1 to Altuve. Justin Upton had to leave that Arizona game after being beaned. That could be a big loss if they have to lose him for any period of time. Bounce to second. Ellis to his right. On to Ionetta. 1 out. Colby Ellsbury has become the first member of the Red Sox 30-30 club. Homered twice off A.J. Burnett in game 1 of that doubleheader. Martinez 0 for 3. He had plenty of 30 home run hitters for the Red Sox. Here's ball 1.
Yeah, over the years, that club known more for their power than their speed.
Let's see. Tommy Harper was a 30-30 man, right? But not with Boston.
With Milwaukee.
Okay. Liner goes out to right field and sliding play there. Good play by Smith. 2 outs. And now Carlos Lee 0 for 3. A liner in the 4th. It was hit well. It was caught by the third baseman. Good play there by Smith. The Astros have only 1 at bat with a runner in scoring position in this game.
Yeah, well, they won't have to lose sleep tonight worrying about that inning that got away.
No.
That big AB with a couple men on that could have changed the nature of the game.
There's a hit to left field. 6-game hitting streak for El Caballo. Ryan Bogusevic comes up. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. The Angels could move to within a game and a half of the wild card lead, and they're in front of the A's 3-0 in the top of the 7th inning. They might just sneak in. Strike to Bogusevic.
And it still is the scenario of a 3-way tie in the American League. That would really mess things up in a fun way.
Big time. That would actually push back the scheduled playoffs, wouldn't it? So they'd have to have a couple games played. Well, or is there? Is there an elimination factor and only 1 playoff game is played if there are 3?
No, they don't have to play.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, if it was, you know, like we had with the Cardinals, where teams, you know, it's a division and both clubs are going to be in, then you don't need to have a playoff game. You settle it head-to-head or whatever the criteria are. But if it's a go home, then the team's got to be afforded the opportunity to play their way in.
Yeah. 2 balls and a strike.
So I guess it would be a coin toss, though, to give one club a bye, and then the other 2 teams would have to play, and then the winner of that go play, I guess.
That might be it. Bouncer up the middle. And here's Field throwing to first. Safe at first. Infield hit for Bogusevic. Field had to throw from the outfield grass, and Bogusevic's speed allowed him to get there to first in time.
Some integrity there by Brian Gorman, first base umpire.
Yep.
Because the temptation is just to ring him up and head to the locker room. But errant throw, bogey flying down the line. Don't want to take a base hit away from a kid. Postpone the inevitable just a little bit longer.
Chris Johnson singled in the second inning. He's 1 for 3. Joel Pinheiro went 6 1/3 shutout innings for the Angels. He's out of the game now against Rich Harden. Strike one to CJ. Pitcher spot is due up next. J.B. Shuck is on deck to pinch hit. Dodgers 4, Padres nothing. They're in the top of the 5th in San Diego. Padres have 1 hit through 4 off Kershaw. One. That one rolls foul, and it's a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Rockies will win the season series from Houston 5-2 with a win today. Johnson looks at ball 2. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
At least you and Greg don't have to shave your heads.
Liner to left field. That's in for a hit. And the bases are no. There's Carlos Lee coming to the plate. He paused at third and then came on in to give Johnson an RBI, his 42nd.
Carlos did a little hitch and go down there at third.
He did. Looked like he was stopping.
He said, "There's no way they think I'm going to go. They're just going to throw it into the infield." Either that or he's trying to sacrifice himself, get this game over with. A stop, check, and go.
Yeah.
A little hesitation. And he was open in the end zone.
Now J.B. Shuck is a pinch hitter for Abreu. Abreu in 1 inning led 1 hit, no runs, had a walk and a strikeout. Shuck takes a look at it, ball 1.
Rarely do you see the third baseman stop and have a conversation with the third base coach when scoring on a base hit. What do you think? Well, whatever you want to do. You want to go? Go ahead.
Shuck is 2 for 9 as a pinch hitter.
Whatever you want, big fella. It's 19-1.
Well, the Rockies will open the season here next April 6th. 3-game weekend series. It'll be the Rockies and Braves. First up for the Astros in the 2012 season.
White Sox here for a couple exhibitions first, right?
Correct. And the Astros' first road trip next year takes them to Florida and Washington. Line shot. Low bridges Reynolds on through to center field. Here's a go-ahead for the runner to score. And he does.
Oh, boy. Here comes the comeback.
Get the shavers out, Greg. Shuck with a pinch hit RBI single. 19-3.
Really, fellas, we're going to have a meeting at the mound to discuss this?
That elusive final out with a 19-3 lead.
Nice swing here by JB.
Yeah.
We talked about that with Baggy last night, about good hitters regardless of the game situation, not giving away at bats.
He was right on that. J.R. Tolles is 0 for 3. Angel Sanchez on deck. That was hit number 7 for the Astros. Strike 1 to Tolles.
If this were golf, we could have done a double or nothing press on the 9th hole,
True.
and the Astros would have won the bet.
Yeah. That Yankee game should be starting soon. It's only an hour away. Still 0-2.
I think I'll go home and watch some more baseball.
Okay.
After last night today, I'm kind of in the mood for that.
Let's get some ball in. One game is not enough this time of year.
Days are running out. You got to get it all in.
Florida's batting in the top of the 9th. Milwaukee leading 9-5. Padres got an Aaron Cunningham homer in the bottom of the 5th off Clayton Kershaw, but the Dodgers lead 4-1. Swing and a miss by Tolles. And the throw to Iannetta from Pacheco takes care of the final out. So the Rockies come back to win the final 2 games of this 4-game series and gain a split. They win the season series and they win this one by a final of 19-3.